We love to see. If you're wondering who the members are, by the way, they're the guys and girls with the badges next to their names. So if you see a little badge and their name highlighted, they are a member. And there are lots of them. Good evening from Perth, Australia. I need to get out to Australia ASAP. 5 p.m. in Tokyo. Very nice. Good timing for you, I guess. Maybe sitting down with dinner. Laying in bed tinkering with my wildcard. That sounds like the dream. Listen, if I wasn't doing this live stream, I would be laying in bed probably tinkering. Actually, I would be asleep, but then I would be laying in bed tinkering with my FPL team. Maybe we'll discuss wildcard then. We might discuss wildcard on this stream. Maybe we can build a... If you guys are up for it, maybe we'll build a wildcard together for those of you that are. Why do I have such bad Tony FOMO? Yeah, I really want Tony as well, Nick. It's not just you, mate. It's not just you. It's not just you. 12 p.m. in Dubai. There's so many countries that you guys are in that I'd love to get out to. Dubai is one. Australia is definitely one, for sure. New Zealand at 8 p.m. Morning from Norway. Indian football coach in the chat. Morning, Ross. Leftover pizza for breakfast and a deadline stream. Ideal. That sounds like the dream. Leftover pizza is elite. It really is. Like, sometimes I'll get a pizza. I'll want to eat it all, but I think, do you know what? Future Ross will appreciate if I leave a couple of slices of that for the next day. We've just... Cool, we just got a new member as well. Let me try and pronounce his name. Abimanu. Let me know if I've absolutely butchered that, but thank you. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for becoming a member. If you do want to become a member, you can click the join button if you're on desktop, or if you're on mobile, there's a link in the description that says if you want to become a member, click here and you can become a member there. Yeah, maybe we will build a wildcard at some point then later on, mate, if that would be helpful. Indonesia, almost having a dinner. Very nice. 4 a.m. in Washington. Do you guys not just think this is absolutely amazing that... I mean, I'm not a particularly big YouTube channel or anything, but we've got 500 people in here from different time zones, different walks of life, different ages, ethnicity, religion. It doesn't matter. Everyone coming together and playing the same game. Like I said, all doing different stuff across the world. I just think it's... When I really think about it, I think it's absolutely just bonkers, to be honest. Right, but you're not here for me to talk about that sort of stuff. You're here for us to chat about FPL. So what I'm going to do is... I haven't got my stream deck plugged in, so sorry if I'm a bit all over the place today. It's been like I said, it's been a really hectic couple of days in my personal life. Nothing bad, but if I'm a bit all over the place, I do apologise. So, as I always do, I'm going to talk you through my team, explain where I'm coming from, just in case you haven't seen my videos this week. Oh, that rank's wrong. That's frustrating. Can I change that now? Maybe I can change that now. Anyway, my rank is not that. My rank is 69k, which is, like I said, it's a good start, but I suppose rank doesn't even matter at the moment, to be honest, does it? I've got Ramsdale, Cancelo, Trent, James, and I'm starting at the moment Nico Williams. I've then got Luis Diaz, Salah, Martinelli, and then Pascal Gross. That was my signing this week. So my transfer this week was before Bailey dropped from 5 to 4.9. I moved from Bailey to Gross. So I now have 0.4 million in the bank. Of course, Haaland and Jesus my front two. And what that means is that I'm currently keeping Trippier. The reason for currently keeping Trippier, right? If I can get away with benching him here, right? In game week 3, I can bench Trippier against Man City because I've got Nico Williams. And even if I don't want to start Nico Williams, which we're going to get onto because I think it's a topic of debate is, do you start Williams, Patterson or Andreas? I can start Andreas, right, against Brentford, assuming he's fit. So I've got an option this week. And then in game week 5, again, Trippier has Liverpool. So in game week 5, assuming Andreas is fit by then, which he should be, I can play Andreas against Brighton at home. So, and then again in 6 and 7, then I won't need Andreas anyway, because if we go back to Trippier's fixtures, in 6 and 7, Crystal Palace, West Ham, Bournemouth, Fulham, Brentford. So if I don't wildcard when I'm planning, which is around here in game week 9, Basically, if you look at these fixtures minus game week 3 and 5, they're really nice. And I don't need to play Trippier in game week 3 and 5. So that's why at the moment Trippier stays. But of course, the issue that I've got, not the issue, but the temptation that I've got is, where is it? I've got 0.4 in the bank. So I've got a couple of options. I can go Trippier to Cucurella, right, which would be really nice to have the double up on the Chelsea defence, Chelsea against Leeds. It looks really, really appealing. And the other option I've got is exactly the money in the bank to... Sorry, my computer's really slow today. I've got exactly the money in the bank to do Trippier to Perisic. And of course, that is extremely tempting. So Let me know what you think, guys. It won't be a rush decision. I'll be thinking about it throughout the stream. That would be for free, by the way. It's worth noting that isn't free here. I've still got one free transfer, so I can get that done for free. I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet, but this is the way the team's currently set up. With respect to captaincy, I'm pretty sure it's going to be on Salah, but we were having a members chat. Basically, if you are a Rap Tier 1 member, we do a live stream Discord chat every week. It's a video call or a voice call with all of the members that can make that call. And we were discussing it yesterday, and a couple of the members have convinced me to vice Haaland. And to be honest, they were making some great points to captain Haaland. And you can see by the poll in the chat at the moment, Haaland's not getting a massive amount of consideration for captaincy. Yes, Newcastle are pretty good defensively, but this is Man City we're talking about. So potentially they deserve a little bit more thought. So at the moment, I've moved my vice from Jesus to Haaland. There is a lot of chat at the moment about sort of the Liverpool game being called off, right? And don't get me wrong, it's definitely a possibility. I'm not saying for a second that it's not going to happen. I wouldn't stress about the Liverpool Man United game being called off. The reason for that is, number one, they know it's happening this time well in advance. They know they failed previously, so you'd expect them to have better sort of police operations in place. The second thing is, it's very unlikely that the game will be called off mid-game. If they see it as a danger, they won't allow the game to be played. I don't think they'll allow the game to be played and then call it off. And then the third reason is everyone owns triple Liverpool anyway, and everyone has a slightly weak bench. So yes, you might be slightly ahead if you've got a slightly stronger bench, but most people have got like an Archer, a Greenwood, or a Plange. Most people probably have like an Andreas or a De Silva, who's not bad at all. And then maybe you've got like one dodgy sub like me, like a Kieran Trippier. So when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking we're all going to be in the same boat, but I still don't see it being called off. So the only piece of advice I would have, which does change the way that I would approach Game Week 3, is if you're captaining Salah, just make sure you give your vice captain more thought than you usually would. Because I'll be completely honest, I never really give my vice captain that much thought. The reason is, I think across the last 3 seasons, which is the length of time I've been playing quite seriously, I would say that maybe 3 or 4 occasions I've needed my vice captain. It just doesn't happen very often because you normally captain someone that's nailed, someone that you know is going to play and normally in a good fixture, and it's very unlikely that they'll pick up a last-minute injury. Yes, with COVID, it sort of mixed it up a little bit, but I think more often than not, you won't need your vice-captain. But this week in particular, just because we've got the slight worries that the Liverpool-Man United game is called off, I would just have a little bit more thought about your vice-captaincy. So that's all I would say on this occasion. But yeah, make sure you're voting. If you're in the chat at the moment, make sure you're voting for your captaincy. I'm very interested to see what the general consensus is. By the way, we've already got 1,000 people watching, which is absolutely bonkers. If you are watching this and you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. And regardless if you're new, old, loyal viewer, whoever you are, please do drop a like. It takes like 2 seconds. Just scroll down, hit the like. What that does, if you're wondering what a like does on YouTube, is it spreads the content out to other people. So if you're one of the 1,000 watching and you like it, it will then push it to another person. They might join and they might like it. So it just really helps to sort of spread the word that we're streaming at the moment. Sorry, I know I did miss a super chat. Let me go back whilst I was rambling. It is from our new member as well, Abimanu. He says, Andreas, De Silva and Rashford start 1. I would be starting De Silva this week, mate. I'd be starting De Silva. I think Andreas' fixture is decent enough. Obviously, they're playing each other, but just the slight worry about his fitness. Rashford, I'm not convinced against Liverpool. I'd probably be under Silva if that was my choice. Right, let's get through to answering your questions then. I've seen a lot of people saying they don't think Perisic is going to start. Let me see if I can bring up the tweet. Where is it? Twitter. By the way, if you're not yet following me on Twitter, do drop me a follow. We just hit 45,000 followers yesterday. So do drop me a follow over on Twitter. It's at FPL__Raptor. Obviously posting stuff constantly. Like, I'm on Twitter far too much, but it is definitely worth dropping me a follow because there's a lot of information over there. So do you remember, guys, if you were in my stream last week, Paul O'Keefe is essentially an in-the-know account for Spurs. So he gets a lot of early Spurs team news. He gets a lot of Spurs transfer news as well. He calls this thing that he does Predict Conte, right? So he calls it he's predicting Conte, but a lot of people say that he just knows the team and he's not allowed to literally leak it. So he says he's predicting it, but he's got it spot on 11 for 11 in game week 1 and game week 2. So you could say potentially it wasn't the most difficult team to it wasn't the most difficult team to try and predict in the first 2 game weeks. I would be 60-70% comfortable to start Perisic as a result of this. Like, he thinks Perisic is going to start, and like I said, he tends to be pretty good. The issue is with Perisic, it's not just about, is he starting game week 3? There are so many other things to consider. The first thing, if we're purely focused on game week 3, is he actually going to get 60 minutes? I've seen a lot of people saying maybe Perisic gets a half and Sessegnon gets a half. We saw with Sessegnon, I think he's had 2 subs. One was just before 60 and one was after. Was it like 55th and 62? So he's already had 2 subs around that 60-minute mark. And when you look back to when Conte and Perisic were together at Inter Milan, even when Perisic was younger and fitter, Perisic got a lot of subs between sort of 60 and 70 minutes and a few before. So even if Perisic starts, we know he's not at full fitness. Is he even going to get 60 minutes? It's a slightly, and I know Wolves isn't the most difficult fixture, but I don't look at that Wolves fixture and think, wow, that's a really easy fixture. It's the easiest fixture you're going to get. Again, it's not a difficult fixture, but putting that all together, even in game week 3, is a slight worry. And then the other thing you've got to consider is Sessegnon has been decent. Game week 2, he struggled a little bit, but I think in general, Spurs were sort of overrun by Chelsea. And I just think that there's a very good chance that he's benched in game week 4 against Forest. And then I think they've got West Ham and then Fulham. I think there'll probably be a bit of a rotation between Sessegnon and Perisic. So let me just go to, whilst we're on the discussion of Perisic, let me just go to James from Planet FPL. He put out a really good, so he's if you don't follow Planet FPL, by the way, what are you doing? They're a fantastic podcast. James put out this tweet. So he's then trying to predict Conte. And what he said is he thinks it will literally be some sort of rotation like this. So Perisic against Wolves, Sessegnon against Forest, Perisic against West Ham, Sessegnon against Fulham. So realistically, you're probably getting the 2 trickier fixtures with Perisic. And if you're only going to get 2 starts out of 4, and we don't even know if he's going to see 60 minutes, that's what's putting me off Perisic. Now, this isn't to say if I was an owner, I wouldn't hold Perisic. I'd hold and start and be happy that I had him. But as a non-owner, I wonder, is it worth just holding on to Trippier and not bothering with all of that? It's not an easy decision by any means, but it's something to think about, I think, and I'm currently leaning towards probably not going for Perisic as a result. Did I miss a super chat? Yeah, I did miss a super chat. Cool. Got a super chat from Sam. Says Robertson and Neto to Dunk and Diaz. 2 free transfers and no money in the bank. I don't mind that, Sam. I think generally you probably want to move a little bit more money into the midfield because that Neto spot is a bit of a tricky spot at the moment. And I do think that Dunk is a fantastic option. So I think in combination and considering it's for free, Sam, I would probably make that move. Maybe give a bit of consideration to Henry. I do really like Henry as an option too. So that's something to think about. So Perisic is a no for a -4. I personally would say it's a no for a -4. Yeah, that is my old rank. Whilst we're talking, let me bring up Photoshop. I don't know how this is going to go whilst we're on the stream, but I'll bring up Photoshop and I'll try and change my rank. Right, this is going to test my multitasking. As a psychologist, I should be able to multitask. I've done enough cognitive studies on multitasking. What was the question? Perisic for -4, right. So for a -4, I would say, I would avoid for a -4. For free, if you're a risk-seeking manager, if you're happy taking that slight risk there, I would potentially be okay doing it for free. But like for me, I've just decided in general I'm going to avoid for now. Right, let's see how this goes. I've never done this live on stream. File, no. I don't know what you guys might be able to see behind the scenes now. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I'm not very great with the tech. Got another super chat from Ruben. Says, start 2 from Andreas de Silva and Nico Williams. What do you think, chat? Start 2 from Andreas de Silva and Nico Williams. I would probably say the latter 2. I would go de Silva and Nico Williams personally. But I think all of these guys are good options. We're going to discuss this in a little bit more detail in a second. Live stream template. Replace. So now, hey, it worked. Absolute tech genius. Absolute tech genius. Sometimes my genius is frightening. Right. What's the chat saying? Yeah, Nico and Andreas, a couple of people. De Silva and Williams. I think I'd go De Silva and Williams. Are you going to trade Williams to Cucurella? I can't do that, but I can do Trippier to Cucurella, and then I can bench Williams. But I don't know. Let me know in the chat what you guys would do with my team. I think it's a bit of a mixed bag from what I've seen already. A lot of people saying I should make the move. A lot of people saying maybe roll. Yo, psychologist, you're a psychiatrist yourself. Yeah, technically I'm not a psychologist. I lecture in psychology and I'm a PhD student in psychology. So I guess technically I'm not a psychologist yet. Just joined YouTube so I could subscribe and interact, although I've been watching the channel for months. Thanks, Raptor. That is absolutely amazing to hear. It's definitely worth making a YouTube channel just so that you can interact. And so that you can drop a like on the stream as well. I do appreciate it, though. Thank you. And yeah, definitely keep interacting. This is genuinely one of the best communities, in my biased opinion. The FPL Raptor community on YouTube is absolutely class. Gross prediction for the West Ham game. I'm not expecting much from Pascal Gross, to be honest, against West Ham. I think, listen, it's not a bad fixture, but I brought Pascal Gross. If we just take a look at his fixtures, I bought Pascal Gross for this run, right? So I'm planning, again, I know I'm sort of reiterating the same point, but there are quite a few new people probably watching right now. I'm planning on wildcarding here. So in between Game Week 8 and Game Week 9, if you're not yet aware, there is an international break. That's why you can see there's a 2-week break, 17th of September here to the 1st of October. So there's a 2-week international break there. And then there's a fixture swing for a few teams. Even someone like a Brighton, you can see the fixtures start to get a little bit trickier. And the main fixture swing is the Arsenal one. So around Game Week 9, you can see, look at these Arsenal fixtures. So you can potentially drop triple Arsenal down to maybe just a Gabriel Jesus or just a Martinelli if you want to. So anyway, the reason I've bought Pascal Gross in is you've got Leeds, Fulham, Leicester, Bournemouth, Palace. Pretty set of decent fixtures, to be honest, especially Leeds, Fulham and Bournemouth. So that was the reason that I brought in Pascal Gross. So I'm not expecting that much against West Ham, if I'm being completely honest. Got a question. Start Ward or Sanchez in goal? I'm probably of the opinion that in this situation, I don't like rotating keepers, right? So the reason that I will play Ramsdale every single week isn't because I necessarily think his fixtures are that much better. I'm not very keen on rotating keepers. When I'm in any doubt, I play the better keeper in the better defense. So I think, for example, if like Ramsdale had City and Ward had like Bournemouth, I would probably play Ward ahead of Ramsdale. But when I'm in any doubt, like I said, and I am in a little bit of doubt here, I would always be leaning towards Sanchez myself. So I do prefer the fixture for Ward, but Brighton are by far and away a better defence, and I think Sanchez is a better keeper. So I would be playing Sanchez ahead of Ward, personally. But it isn't an easy decision. We are at a record number of people watching the stream, by the way, so thank you very much. 1,500 people in the chat. Love to hit milestones for you guys. I do really appreciate that. Like I said, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. We're trying to hit 25,000 subscribers. We are approaching that pretty quickly. So drop a like on the video. Make sure to subscribe as well. I do appreciate all of that. Thank you very much. Cool. Right, guys. Very, very quickly, before we move on to answering some more of your questions, goodness me, get your words out, Raptor. I did just want to give a quick shout out to Fanslide. So I think a lot of you guys play this already. I've chatted to quite a few people about this. It's basically the first in-play fantasy football, right? So you do have to be 18 and above because you can enter pay tournaments. But the tournament that I'm asking you to enter and the group that I'm asking you to enter, there's a league, link in the description. Basically, it's in-play fantasy football. So as you can see on your screen right now, at all times throughout the game, you have 3 players in play. And you have a single points, double points, and triple points. And it's called Fanslide because you can slide them in and out. So as you're watching the game, maybe for the first 20 minutes, as you can see here for the Norwich-Millwall game yesterday, I didn't think there would be many goals in the opening 20 minutes. So I've started with 3 sort of defensive options. And they get points for things such as tackles, clean sheet points, various different things, interceptions. The points scoring system is really advanced. And you basically slide them in and out. So I slide the players in. And when you're watching the game, the reason I like this is if you're sort of prone to sort of an in-play bet, you can do it, but for free. So you can play Fanslide for free rather than betting if you want to do that. And it's really good for those people that really watch the game. So maybe you can see a slight shift in momentum. For example, as you can see here, I literally just brought in a Phobie and I brought in Bury. So I brought in 2 Millwall players because I was watching the game and I could see a slight shift in momentum. And as I brought them in, you can see Afobe got a tackle one, which isn't the best. It isn't really something you can guess with the eye test, but you can sub them in and out. So if you're watching the game, for example, you can say like Harry Kane's getting into a lot of good positions, but it's not quite happening for him yet. I'm going to slide in Harry Kane. And I expect him to get a couple of shots soon. So basically, it's fantasy football, but it's played on a match-by-match basis, and it's in play. So it gives you something really exciting to do as you're watching the game. So even if your FPL team isn't doing well, you can still have a bit of fun with it. So what I'd like you to do, it supports the channel. It's completely free to do. I do believe you have to be 18 plus now, but if you want to support the channel and you want to play a pretty cool in-play fantasy football game, Fanslide link in the description. That will take you to download the app, and then it will automatically put you in my league. So please do join my league, join my group, try and beat my score. I'm going to be playing the Spurs versus Wolves game later today. So if you do want to join with me and play against me, I'm going to be playing that game. As I'm showing you here on my screen recording from yesterday, there is an academy section on the app where you can find out how to play. So it will tell you exactly how you play, exactly how much it costs for certain slides, etc. So do read the rules before you play. But join me today at 12:30. I'm going to be playing Spurs versus Wolves. Join the league, join Fanslide. Yeah, and I genuinely, this is a game that I've been playing for a little bit as well, and I do really appreciate, like I said, even if you don't necessarily want to play it, it supports the channel. If you just click it, download it for free, no harm done. And if you don't like it, you don't have to play it. But like I said, please do join the league, and I want to see if anyone can beat me. And in the future, we're going to be doing significantly more sorts of like prize leagues. I'm going to have different things up for grabs as well. But this is just the first week. Get you guys on there, get you guys playing the game. And yeah, we will talk about it a bit more later once the deadline goes. I'm going to get back to FPL now, talk about it a little bit more later, but I did just want to give them a quick shout out there. So, where are we? Back to FPL. Like I said, link in the description for that if you want to. Just got to get back to a couple of super chats. Right. So we had a super chat from JP22. Very nice name. Who's the worst pick? Van Dijk, Lloris, or Ødegaard? I'm planning on bringing Henry and Maddison/Diaz in for Van Dijk and Ødegaard for game week 4. Who's the worst pick for this single week? This week it's Van Dijk. Out of all of them moving forward, it's probably Ødegaard. I don't really fancy him as an FPL option, but obviously Bournemouth, you probably got to play him against Bournemouth. We've got a new member as well, Saint Ledger 84. Thank you very much for becoming a member. I do appreciate that. Thank you to all of the members that are in the chat, by the way. Got another super chat. Tony or Mbeumo and 1.1 million in the bank. I would still go Tony, mate. I think, yes, it's nice with Mbeumo to save, but Tony's on penalties. He's their talisman. I would probably be on Tony if I had the choice, to be honest. Good morning, Ross. Good morning, Paulie. Good to see you. Mahrez to Mount. What do you think? Thanks. I think there are better options. I would maybe prefer like a Martinelli. I would prefer a Foden. I would prefer a Saka. But if you've got some of those already and you don't fancy them, I don't mind Mason Mount. Cucurella or Gabriel? I have James and no Arsenal defender. If you have no Arsenal defender, yeah, I'd be tempted by Gabriel. How certain are you captaining Salah over Jesus Haaland? Apologies if you've already covered this. I covered it in a bit of detail, but I said to my members yesterday when we had our sort of weekly live stream, I said, I've deliberately avoided talking about captaincy. Usually I try and answer the controversial topics. Usually I try and answer the things that I think you need help with. But when we've got so little data to go on, we've only got 2 games for each of the players. It's basically my opinion, and I'm always very hesitant to just give you an opinion. I try and give you facts. I try and present objective evidence. And at the moment, it would just be me saying my opinion is. But seeing as there's people here wanting my opinion, I just think Salah gets the extra point for a clean sheet. Salah gets an extra point for a goal. Manchester United, in my opinion, are arguably the worst of those 3 defences at the moment. And we know Salah's on penalties. We know he'll essentially get 90 minutes. I'd be very surprised if he gets an early sub because they've got Jota and Darwin out. So putting that all together is just the safer, more reliable captaincy choice. I think with Haaland, if he gets his chances, he'll probably take them, but we don't know how many chances he'll get. Newcastle are, by all accounts, a very good defence under Eddie Howe. And then Jesus, I think if he didn't score that 19 points and none of us are even thinking about captaining Jesus, the only reason we're thinking of captaining Jesus is purely because he's just got 4 attacking returns. And that might be a good reason. You might say, yes, well, he's in form. Arsenal look absolutely fantastic. But at this stage, I'm not seeing enough. I don't know. I'm not seeing enough yet. I need to see it over a longer period for me to feel comfortable captaining Jesus again instead of Salah against what is a very weak Manchester United defence. So I think all 3 of them are fantastic options. I also think if I owned Kane or Son, I would be seriously tempted there. But I think when in doubt, I prefer midfielders. So if I'm making a 50-50 call, or a close, it's maybe not 50-50, but a close call, I tend to back the midfielder. And I also tend to back Salah. Like, Salah is that guy, isn't he? So for me, that's the reason I'm currently leaning towards Salah. But I would say I'm 95%. I haven't moved the armband off him. At the moment, if I were to captain someone else, I'd maybe just about lean towards Haaland over Jesus. I made the switch from Haaland to to Gabriel Jesus for my captain this week. I hope he comes through with the goods. Love from Australia, mate. I love that. It's a high attacking, high risk move. I still think Haaland will come good, and I think he'll be good for the rest of the sort of season. But listen, if you think Gabriel Jesus is the best captaincy, I said at the start of the season, it's worth using transfers to bring in who you think is the best captaincy. I think that is definitely a good use of transfer, because you're almost getting like 2 players if you do that, right? Because you're getting them in and you're getting double their score as well. So yeah, I absolutely think that's worth doing. There is a crazy amount of people watching, mother. 1,800 people, madness. If you are watching, you're new to the channel. Like I said, I don't want to keep going on, but please subscribe. We're trying to hit 25,000 subscribers. Please do drop a like on the stream. It really supports the channel. But yeah, thank you very much to you're one of the 1,800 people watching. Captain Pascal Gross. Yeah, Pascal Gross. I think my thing with Pascal Gross is he going to score 2 goals or is he going to score 3 goals? I think that's my only thing to think about, is I just don't know if he's going to score a brace or a hat-trick. All right. Nico Williams for Cucurella for a -4. My current defence is Trent, Cancelo, Dunk, Trippier, 1.5 million in the bank. I don't think that's worth it for a -4 personally. I think, so this is the way I weigh up -4s when I'm looking at defenders. Nico Williams is probably looking at 1 or 2 points as a baseline, right? He could get 0, he could get a minus, of course. But let's say a 2-pointer from Nico Williams. If Cucurella gets a clean sheet and no bonus, so Cucurella gets a 6-pointer, which is still a decent return, that is just paid back the hit. And all you've done is lost money in the bank. If he gets like an 8 or 9 points, gets a clean sheet and bonus, you're still only like 2 or 3 points up. And that's assuming that Nico Williams gets nothing. Of course, if Nico Williams gets any sort of return, a couple of bonus, a clean sheet, an assist, you're looking, Cucurella needs to get like 12, 15 points just to make the hit back. So for me, I'm always very hesitant to take a hit for a defender, because it's not just about, is the defender coming in going to do well? It's, are you sure enough that the player you're taking out is going to do poorly? And with someone like a Nico Williams against Everton, I think they're good enough for me. And I would personally be backing them to do fairly well. So for that reason, mate, thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate the support. I would say, no, I wouldn't take a -4 for that. Good morning, Ross. Thoughts on Neto Wolves this week? Spurs away seems a big ask for a return. Yeah, I've had a few people ask about this. Should you start Patterson, Williams, Andreas ahead of Neto? Neto has looked decent, and Wolves haven't looked poor by any means. But yeah, I would potentially be looking to start potentially all 3 of those ahead of Neto. I think I would start Williams, Patterson, and Andreas all ahead of Neto. But if you fancy Wolves to get a goal, Neto probably looks the more likely of the options to do that. So, yeah. Just seeing we've also got another person joined as a member. Xander Red, thank you very much for becoming a member. I do appreciate that. Roster switch support to Liverpool from United if the stream hits 2,000 viewers. We are 50 viewers off 2,000. I don't think it will hit 2,000 though. But unfortunately, I'm never switching my allegiances. Although, with the way the season's going, maybe I shouldn't be supporting Man United. Patterson or Andreas Pereira? I would just about lean towards Patterson myself. How do you see your team value? Good question. I actually got literally 5 or 6 comments of people asking this. So let me show you. If you go on to pick team, it's really easy. And you scroll down, there it is. It's in the bottom right-hand corner. So my squad value is 100.5 million and I have 0.4 million in the bank. So my team value is 100.9, but that isn't my selling value. If I were to sell my entire team, it wouldn't be that high because you have to gain 0.2 to gain 0.1 in value. So I'm at 100.9 at the moment, 0.4 in the bank. And my rank is actually correct above my head now. So listen, I've had a really good start to the season. I'm delighted because I've also spent a lot of time sort of making my team and thinking about it. So it's always good to have a good start if you possibly can. What is a -4? A -4 is, so you get 1 free transfer every week. Every time you do more than that 1 free transfer a week, you lose 4 points. So it's like a -4 points to your overall total. You will hit 2,000. Andy is getting married, so some spare stream viewers up for grabs. Is Andy not streaming then at all? Fantastic. Yeah, Andy's viewers can come over to me. It's always fantastic when Normally I would probably have like 800 to 1,000 at this point, and I'm almost hitting 1,000 live viewers, and I'm like, yes, I'm about to hit 1,000, and then I just see loads of people in the chat are like, haha, Andy started streaming, goodbye, which is pretty funny. Hey, we hit 2,000. Bonkers. Absolutely ridiculous. That might not seem like a lot to you, but to think I'm sat here in my room, I'm staring down the face of a camera talking to 2,000 people spread all over the world. And like, we are fully international on this channel. Like, there are people all over the place. Polkit with using his... By the way, if you do become a member of the channel, I don't want to push it too much, but you can see in the chat what Polkit's just done. You get one highlighted message every single month for free as part of your membership. So it's almost like a free super chat every month you get. So if you're a member, by the way, and you're watching this, you haven't used your highlighted message, feel free to use it. Hey, Ross, congrats on an amazing start. Would you start Pascal Gross or Nico or Andreas, Sanchez or Ward? Inclined towards Gross and Sanchez at the moment. I would agree with you 100%. If I had to start only two of those, one outfield player and a keeper, I would go Sanchez and Gross. I do think Nico Williams could have a really good game, though, so maybe look at a way to get him in. So I'm going to end the captaincy poll, and we've had 2,500 votes, which is pretty cool. So it was 62% of you on Salah. So still Salah is definitely the most favoured. We've then got 23% on Gabriel Jesus, 7% on Haaland, and then 6% on Kane and Son. So if you're someone that wants to captain the safer player and you want to stay fairly safe with your captaincy this week, I would be looking at captaining Salah. If you want to take a slight risk but also go for high upside, maybe a Gabriel Jesus. And if you want to go like with a proper differential captaincy option this week, I would be looking at sort of Haaland or Kane and Son. They don't look like they're going to be massively captained. And I do think all three of those, Haaland, Kane and Son, could be fantastic choices this week. Right. Start De Silva or Andreas Pereira. I'm just about leaning towards De Silva, Gareth, but I don't think that's an easy decision at all. Honestly, all four of those, Patterson, Williams, De Silva, Andreas, all four of them are great, absolutely fine to start this week. I think it's a close one, to be honest. I don't think it's an easy decision. I would be happy, like I said, I'd be happy starting all four of those. Andy choosing marriage over FPL streams is just not good enough. I know, Andy's just such a slacker with his content. Like, just not consistent at all, is he? Imagine choosing to get married over game week 3. Like, where are your priorities, Andy? Not that Andy's watching this, but it's terrible, Andy. It's terrible. No, but congratulations to him. Literally the most consistent man in the world with his content. I know he's full-time, but he puts up 7 pieces of FPL content every single week as a minimum. It's just madness. So, yeah, props to him. He's been absolutely smashing it. 300,000 subscribers, Andy has. I don't know if anyone saw on his deadline stream for game week 1. I think he had 36,000 or something like that, people watching live. It's crazy. What are your thoughts on Raheem Sterling captaincy? Yeah, I really like it, to be fair. I don't mind it at all. I don't mind it at all. I think as far as differential captaincies go, I'm looking at Jamie Vardy and I'm looking at Jamie Vardy, Sterling, and probably Haaland. Like, Haaland is a differential captaincy, so probably those would be my 3. But yeah, I think in particular Sterling and Vardy could be really nice options. Saint Ledger said clip to show Andy. Yeah, someone's going to clip what I just said about Andy completely out of context and send it to him. But like, FPL Raptors. I was about to swear then. I'm not allowed to swear on these streams. They're family-friendly streams. Yeah, FPL Raptors not being very nice about you. That's a nice way of saying it. Great start to the season, Ross. I'm at 46k myself. Love to see that, mate. 46k. I've seen some people are in the top 10k already. It's madness. If you watched my channel last season, I'm slightly worried because I spent the entire season, and I mean the entire season from game week 1 pretty much to game week 38. I spent pretty much the entire season from 30k to 60k. Right? I spent the entire season in that very small margin. It was basically grey arrow every single week. Apologies. And I'm worried because I'm almost there already, and I just want to be able to just shoot up this season. Did you make a who to start list this week? I didn't, because there were really only 4 people that everyone were talking about, which is Patterson, Williams, Andreas, and De Silva. And I don't really have a massive preference either way. So no. So no, I haven't at the moment. I haven't made sort of a benching list for that reason, because I just don't think there's a... Last week in particular was a real headache. This week I think it's a little bit easier. Sorry, I've just started the stream. Join the stream. Start Neto or Andreas. I don't... What was the press conference news on Andreas? Did we get anything? Let me have a look if we... Did we get anything on Andreas Pereira? Let me know in the chat, guys. I didn't actually see the press conference, because I'm not starting him anyway, so I didn't see the press conference update on Andreas Pereira. Did we get any news about whether he was injured or anything like that? Okay, right, it's going in. Andreas is 100% fit. Fulham said he's fit. Andreas trained this week. Right, okay, so he's fit. In that case, I would be starting Andreas ahead of Neto. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, guys. What would I do without you? You're much more up to date than I am. So yeah, in that situation, I would be starting Andreas ahead of Neto personally. There's definitely justification to start Andreas ahead of the Silva if you want to, but it's up to you. Any reason why you're streaming on YouTube instead of Twitch? Just interested. It's a great question. There's definitely benefits to Twitch. Just for me at the moment, I'm very focused on trying to build the best possible YouTube channel I can, and I love interacting with you guys over here. I'm not at the moment as interested in building a separate community, right? So at the moment, I'm favouring sort of just trying to make this the best YouTube channel I possibly can. And I quite like the YouTube interface for streaming. I know a lot of people don't. I think if you're a gamer, I think gaming is definitely better to stream on Twitch, but... yeah. Ricky, thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Already lost price dips on Robbo, Neto, and Bailey. Should I do Cucurella Diaz and a £4.5 million mid from Robbo, Neto, and Bailey, or keep Robbo and change the mids? Right, that's a tricky question. Lost. Okay. Should I do Cucurella Diaz and £4.5 million mid from... I would maybe say yes, to be honest. It depends if that's for a -4 or -8. For a -4, yeah, I think Cucurella Diaz and a £4.5 million mid is a better structure for me than Robbo, Neto, and Bailey. So, yes, I would lean towards saying yes to that, Ricky. Thoughts on Martinelli captain? Could be amazing. Jesus effective ownership predictions, Ross. I think both Salah and Jesus going to be well above 100. I would be putting Jesus at about 120, 130. And I would be putting Martinelli about... Martinelli? I don't know. I'd put Salah, sorry, at about 150, 160. I think they're both going to be well above... They're both going to be well above 100%. What that means, if you're new to FPL and you don't know what effective ownership means, effective ownership takes into account ownership plus captaincy and at specific ranks. So at those top ranks, because everyone owns Jesus pretty much and everyone owns Salah, because everyone owns them, they're pretty much 100% owned. If everyone then captained them, they would be 200% owned, right? So even if you owned them, if you don't captain them, you almost want them to blank. It's a pretty sort of tricky thing to wrap your head around when you first start FPL. But what that essentially means is, whichever one of Salah and Jesus you don't captain this week, assuming you still own both, you're going to want the other one to blank. So whoever you don't captain out of Salah and Jesus, you're pretty much going to be cheering on to blank, which is a frustrating way for the game to be played. It is what it is. It is what it is. Another week of Jesus battering my rank. Yeah, Frosty, absolutely. But at least you own him this week. At least you own him this week. What is this game? This is FPL. Welcome. Welcome to FPL. Yeah, this is FPL. Fantasy Premier League. You pick players. I can't believe I'm explaining what FPL is, but you pick players that you think will do well in real life, and when they... Oh my God, it's so funny. Sorry, completely distracted there. That's my sort of ADHD kicking in a little bit. Trying to explain what I do on YouTube to people that don't understand what Fantasy Premier League is. Has anyone got... Can someone write me a really good paragraph to how I can explain what I do and not sound like a nerd? I mean, an attractive girl the other day asked me about YouTube, and I had to try and explain to her what I do on YouTube. And the more I started speaking, the more I thought, Ross, you just sound worse and worse. And then I tried, obviously I got myself in a bit of a hole, and I'm thinking, right, you're sounding like a bit of a nerd now, maybe try and explain it in a slightly better way. And it just kept getting worse and worse. So why did I say that? Oh, what is FPL? FPL is you pick players that you think will do well in real life, and when they do certain things in real life, a goal, an assist, a clean sheet, you get points. So it's like a virtual football game. Marcus has said, you make people's dreams come true via YouTube. I love that. That's what I'm going to say from now on. What do you do on YouTube? I make people's dreams come true. There we go. Do you have your rank on your Tinder profile? I don't have Tinder, but when I do get Tinder, it's going to happen. I'm going to put my FPL ID in there because I've got a 4-digit ID. It's not bad. I can say I was in the first 10,000 managers to download FPL this year. If my rank gets good, maybe I'll put my rank in there. I feel like I should put like my YouTube subscribe account. Maybe I'll put my Twitter follow account. Just show off all of the FPL stuff. How are we getting distracted this early in the stream? Usually the further the stream goes on, we get more and more distracted and we start talking about all sorts of nonsense. But yeah, sorry. What are we talking about? Cucurella opinion. Yeah, I really like Cucurella. He's probably my favourite £5 million defender at the moment. My only issue with Cucurella is I don't think that Chilwell's that far off. Chilwell started game week 1. Chilwell looks fine. He's in training. I don't think Chilwell's as far as some people are saying. Some people are making it seem like Chilwell's not going to start a game until like game week 18. When Chilwell does start, if Chelsea sign Fofana, which looks very likely, Koulibaly's then probably not going to push over to the right. So Koulibaly's pretty much locked up that left centre-back role. Yes, he might cover for Thiago Silva occasionally, but I think what that essentially means is I think what you're left with is Cucurella very rarely playing in centre-back and therefore rotating quite heavily with Chilwell. I don't know when that will happen, but I'm just thinking that there's a decent chance that there's going to be more rotation than we think. So it's probably quite a short-term option. What about an FPL dating app? There's a gap in the market. There could be. I think it would be a lot of men, which is fine for some people if that's the way if that's your preference. But I think there would be probably far too many men for most people to try and make that work. But listen, if someone wants to set that up, I'll drop a retweet on it. I'll get behind it. They've got those dating apps that are like only for gym people and stuff. So listen, maybe that's it. FPL dating app. We're gonna be rich. We're gonna be rich. That's a good business startup. Should I start Andreas or Bailey? What Charles has just said in the chat is what I wanted to say, but then again, I remember this is a PG stream, and I need to only say certain things and not say too many things. Sorry, my phone's popping off. That bald head should attract the ladies alone. I would, yeah, extra bit of polish on the head. Make it that extra shiny. The ladies love that. Extra bit of shine. No one likes a matte finish bald head. It's got to be like that glossy finish. Oh my God, I'm going to lose all the viewers if I don't stop talking about stuff. Let me answer FPL questions. KDB captain. Yes, that's fine. I don't mind that at all. Like, I do think there are slightly better options this week, but I do think if you're going for a slight differential, any of the City attackers could be good options. Haaland, Kane, or neither. If this is to bring in, I don't mind Haaland or Kane. If it's for captaincy, I quite like the look of Haaland this week, to be honest. What are your thoughts on Tony? Yeah, I really like Tony. It's just, I think, apologies, for most of us, it's quite difficult to get Tony into our teams. I think if it's easy for you to get Tony in, absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. Let's just switch over to Fantasy Football Hub. By the way, guys, for those of you that are currently watching, I'm sure most of you know already, I am partnered with Fantasy Football Hub for this season. I didn't actually realise their 50% off for the season ends at the Game Week 3 deadline. So you have 1 hour and 15 minutes. I've been informed anyway from the guys over at Hub. You've got 1 hour and 15 minutes to still get 50% off. There might still be a discount in the future, but as far as I know, it's not 50% off. So you can get access to pretty much everything on the site, bar a couple of things, for £1.50 a month. £1.50 a month to get access to everything on the Hub site. And also it supports the channel. So I think it's the second link in the description this week, because you've got the fan slide link, then it's the Hub link. Like I said, 50% off, £1.50 for pretty much everything. And then you can get, for literally everything, £3 a month. It's the premium membership. So now's the time to do it. You are billed annually, but like I said, you've got 1 hour and 50 minutes before the Game Week 3 deadline. It's definitely worth doing. It's an absolutely brilliant site. I just wanted to show you, my team rating is actually 96% at the moment. So I'm set up in a very, very good way here. 88% Game Week rating. Not the best for this Game Week. If I skip to Game Week 4, though, I'm at 94% for Game Week 4. And this is when in game week 4, so people are saying, why am I keeping Trippier? I do really like the Wolves fixture for him in game week 4, so I can bring Trippier in, and then I can bring Pascal Gross in against Leeds. And this is the run that I really want Gross for. So the team looks really well set up for game week 4. And the funny thing is, obviously, if I don't make that second transfer this week, right, if I don't bring in Cucurella, if I don't bring in Perisic, if I skip ahead to game week 4, I'm going to have 2 free transfers and this team. 2 free transfers in this team. It's a brilliant position to be in. The team's looking really well set up. I'm very happy with the start that we've had, to be honest. Martinelli or Jesus as captain. I think if you're going to captain one, you probably go for Gabby Jesus, personally. Walker or Cucurella. I just about lean towards Cucurella. Owen says, I've got a 97% team rating on Hub. 97%. Yeah, if you're on Hub, by the way, if you're already a member or you use my link and become a member, let me know what your team rating is in the chat. I'm happy with 96%. I think that's really good. By the way, if you're wondering what team rating is, because I had a chat to the guys over at Hub just to get an official answer, it's your team over the next 5 game weeks, what they rate your team, but it's more heavily weighted to the immediate game weeks, right? So it rates it up until sort of game week 8, game week 9, but it gives more weighting to sort of game week 3 and game week 4. So that hopefully that gives a decent explanation to you guys about what that team rating is. And then obviously game week rating is the specific rating for this specific game week only. 99%, 98%. Bloody hell. It's only 30% off via your link. Is it? It should be 50% up until the game week 3 deadline. It might have already dropped off then, but I mean 30% is still good, but it should be 50% up until 11. Apologies if it's not 50%. I'll update the graphic if it's now 30%. I didn't know that. 99. Why are all of yours above mine? Clearly my team's not as good as I thought then. Interesting. Okay, it's only 30% off. I do apologise. That wasn't deliberate misadvertisement. Okay. I don't know if I can change that now. Let me have a look. Because I don't want to have false stuff on my screen. I was informed up until the game week 3 deadline it would be 50%, but there we go. Here we go. I think I can change this for you guys now. It's still worth doing. To be honest, even if it was full price, it's worth doing. Obviously, a bit of a shame it's not 50% now, but you still save, right? Desktop. I'm going to change that right now for you guys. Like I said, I don't want to have false stuff on my screen. That should have changed. Yeah, 30% off. There you go. Still a fantastic deal. I just wanted to have a look at the predicted points as well for this week, so I think it's quite interesting. There's someone that's popping up on there. These are all of the features you get, by the way, or some of the features. By the way, you get access to Ben Crellin's calendar and Ben Crellin's planner. Absolutely elite. If we go into points predictions, look who tops the list. And I love this as a shout. Top of the list is Jamie Vardy. So if you're looking for a differential captaincy, predicted points for game week 3, 7.5 for Jamie Vardy. And then Son comes in at second. So you can see, if you're looking for some differential captaincies, look at those 5 there. All of those could be decent shouts. All of those could be decent shouts. Okay, yeah, so it's £2.10 now from the link. There you go. So rather than £1.50 a month, it's £2.10 a month. So it's an extra 60p a month. I apologise, but I still think that's a good deal. £2 a month to do well in FPL. What type of hub are we talking about? This is supposed to be a PG stream, please. Nice. Damn, nice glasses, Andy. I could be Andy. What's Andy's intro? He says, hello, everyone. Welcome back to another video. Is that Andy's intro? I've watched enough of Andy's videos. I think it's hello, everyone. Welcome back to another video. And his hands go out like this. Someone else that watches Andy's videos even more than me will know his exact intro. Would you start Ben White or Salah? I guess or buy that might be. It'd be Salah for me. I think he's slightly more likely to keep his place at centre-back when Tomiyasu's back fit. Chilwell to James or Cucurella is a good choice. Yeah, I think so. I like Reece James more, to be honest. Is Harvey Elliott an option? I mean, in and of his own right, I don't mind Harvey Elliott. The issue is it does block a third Liverpool spot moving forward. So, sorry, 2 seconds. I don't mind Harvey Elliott, but like I said, I wouldn't want to block that third Liverpool spot personally. You missed my super chat. Oh, no. Did I? Yeah, sorry. Nicola, I've just missed your super chat. Kane and Neto out for Tony and Diaz. Is that worth it? No. I'm going to say no. I think Kane's a great option, and I think hopefully you can get away with benching Neto this week. I do really like Tony and Diaz, but assuming... wait, let me answer that. If you've already got 2 premiums plus Kane, yes. If this is to switch you to a 1 premium team, I'd say no. I think 1 premium teams aren't the way forward. I thought they might be good at the start of the season, but I'm not as keen now. So if you've already got 2 premiums plus Kane, yes. If Kane is one of your premiums, then one of your 2 premiums, then no. You missed my super chat also. Did I actually miss 2 super chats? I can't see a second super chat. I'm really sorry if I did. Andy says, what's going on? Oh, he does say what's going on, doesn't he? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I feel like I should upload like an impressions video where I go through and do all of the different YouTubers. Why does Silva has been better team rating than Nico Williams? Slightly better fixture, I guess. Don't know. Good question. Good question. Not entirely sure, to be honest. Let's switch back to the official FPL page, I think. Slightly easier to see the teams, a little bit more zoomed in. Early team news. I haven't seen any early team news yet, but guys, if you see any... Oh, my camera. Lagging out. If you're one of the 2,300 people watching and this is the first time you've seen my streams, my camera decides to overheat every now and again, and I just have to reset it. But I'm still here. You'll see my beautiful face pop up once again very soon. You missed my... I feel like people are just saying I've missed their super chats. There's no way I've missed that many super chats. Yeah, the camera just... It gets a bit hot. It's because I'm spitting absolute fire. God, that was cringy. I'm not going to say that. Trent own goal, better drop him. I don't think so. I think it's probably quite a good fixture, to be honest. Is Damsgaard an option considering Brentford's favourable run of games? Thomas Frank has confirmed that Damsgaard is not starting in game week 3. So, I mean, I don't mind Damsgaard if he's going to get a run of games, but I don't know how slowly he's going to be integrated into the starting 11. So, at the moment, I would say maybe no. Who's your mini league nemesis? I would say it's my brother-in-law, Luke. We've been playing FPL against each other for a few now, but even before I joined the FPL community. But he's got a family. He's got 2 kids, so he forgets about deadlines and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, so it's him. But I've beaten him the last 2 years. He beat me 3 years ago. No, but did he beat me 2 years ago? He's a very good FPL manager, considering he doesn't spend anywhere near as much time as I do. He's very good. I suppose my other FPL nemesis is going to be FPL mate this year. I'm going to beat Dan this year. Let's do it. No, I'm not, considering I'm quite a competitive person with FPL. I'm not really too stressed. There I am. I'm back. Something that I've just noticed is I just gained 150 viewers when I got rid of my face. Is my face putting people off? Is my face putting people off? should I just get rid of my face permanently? Right. By far one of the most interactive FPL YouTubers. Shout out Raptor. I try my best. I'll be honest, I'm not used to having 2,500 people in the chat. So the chat is just zooming past. I'm not used to that, but I'm trying my best to answer as many as possible. Genuinely, I've brought my face back and it dropped by 100. People see my face load in and just go, Jesus Christ, don't want to see that mug. Don't want to see that ugly mug on my screen. Have we had any early Perisic news? The only Perisic news we'll have, I'll bring it back up for those of you that have just joined, is from yesterday. And it is Paul O'Keefe. Where was it? It was this one here. Here we go. Paul O'Keefe. And he said, essentially, Perisic. So just to give a quick recap again, he calls it Predict Conte. He says that he's predicting what's going to happen with Conte. But I don't know. I think I personally believe he gets early team news, but he doesn't want to leak it as team news because he'll get in trouble. So he calls it Predict Conte. But for the first two games, game week 1 and game week 2, he got 11 out of 11. I would feel fairly comfortable that he's going to start. As you can see from what Planet James FPL has said, though, he's said Perisic, Sessegnon, Perisic, Sessegnon. So even if Perisic starts game week 3, there's no telling how many of the next 4 he's going to start. So it's not 3 videos with 100,000 views. Thank you so much. That's class. 1,000. That is very impressive, to be fair. What was I doing? Back to this one and then this one. Someone's been searching for FPL Mate's Bird. Yeah, it was from, there was a lot of stuff on Twitter yesterday, wasn't there? She basically put out a thread that was controversial for a lot of people, and I wanted to see what was going on, basically. But I won't give my opinion on that now. But yeah, no, I'm not just randomly searching for people's birds, no. Who is your best replacement for Bailey? I have no money in the bank. If you have no money in the bank for Bailey, I think you've got to go down to Andreas or De Silva. I'm not convinced that with any of the other £5 million options. I don't mind KDH this week, to be honest. But yeah, I think long term, I think maybe just taking money out of that spot. I think if you've got money in the bank, I like Aronson. I like Aronson. I like Gross. I like Rodrigo. Harrison. I don't mind. Who are some other options? I did have... Let me have a look here. I did have that... I'm not going to be able to find it now. I did have that... In my Game Week preview video, I discussed some potential Bailey replacements, but yeah. Hey, you actually missed my super chat this time. Did I? Okay, I've missed 2 super chats. This time I actually did, but I can see the super chats this time. Pick 2 out of Andreas, Neto, De Silva, or Williams. I'd really fancy Nico Williams this week to do well, and then it will be one of Andreas or De Silva. At the moment, I would just about say De Silva and Williams, but it could easily be Andreas and Williams. It's not an easy decision, though. I feel like for these benching decisions, it's maybe best to just back your gut feeling on it. Andy's getting married, isn't he? I hope he keeps a clean sheet for bonus points. Outrageous. I saw on his video people were making jokes about him scoring on FPL and in real life. Clean sheet. There was a lot of jokes going around. Would you start Patterson or Gross? I would start Pascal Gross personally. How often do you stream? At least once a week, sometimes twice a week, and there's normally 3 videos a week. So almost every week it will be 4 videos, sometimes 5, sometimes 3 if I'm really low on time. I'm not a full-time YouTuber. So that's the reason for that. This is part-time. We need a little graphic for Andreas, De Silva, Neto, Bailey, Williams, Patterson. Seems like the only decision this week apart from captains. Yeah, I didn't realise how much of a big shout that was going to be. I feel like it's a little bit late now. I guess I could just bring up Photoshop and do it. Do I want to do that? Is that going to break? I think I'd break my stream. I'm gonna avoid doing that for now. Hello, good morning, Ross. Good to see you, Farron. Thank you for being here. De Silva or Patterson or Rodrigo. I would be tempted to start Rodrigo, to be honest. I would still be tempted. I know it's not the easier fixture, but he looks really good. Probably on pens. I'd be tempted. Are you procrastinating from the PhD? Maybe. Get Nanaraptor on. Yeah. The issue is Nanaraptor lives in Essex, down south, where I'm from, right? I'm from Essex, and I live in Nottingham. The only time that I ever go down to Essex, I go home for the weekend. You can't see my setup. I've got expensive, heavy studio lighting. I've got a massive boom arm and a microphone here, as you can see. I've got keyboard, mouse. I've got my green screen behind me is about 3 meters by 2 meters. It's a massive old green screen. I've got 3 monitors, got my camera. To get all of that home is an absolute nightmare. So I don't bring any of my equipment home. So I could get like a video over on my phone and try and upload that to like Twitter or something, but getting Nanaraptor on a video is a nightmare, unfortunately. Thoughts on starting Ben Mee? Yeah, I would start Ben Mee. I think it's a great option. Are you doing a Game Week 3 reaction video this week like you did last week? Yes. However, Mr. Raptor is out drinking tonight. I don't condone drinking. I don't condone getting too drunk, but I am out at a barbecue and then I'm going out tonight. I don't know what state I'm going to be in tomorrow. If I'm in a good place, I will record a video. If I'm in a really bad place, what I might do instead is I might do a reaction stream, you know, like similar to what Andy does, like a knee-jerk stream. And if I'm in a really bad place, there might just be a video on Monday instead. So yeah, it's basically going to be, there'll be something on Sunday or Monday reacting to Game Week 3. It just depends how I feel tomorrow, to be honest. For the guy who spams every 2 seconds, Erdegaard is a bad in FPL Red. I didn't see the guy spamming, but yeah, I'm not a massive Erdegaard fan. Who's Nana Raptor captaining? Nana Raptor captains Salah every week. She even captained Salah last week. She captains, like I said, she just loves Salah. So yeah, Salah, she'll be captaining this week. Imagine watching Ross drunk on YouTube. I got really drunk in Italy, right? Do you remember when I went to Italy for the academic conference? And I opened up YouTube Studio on my phone, and I was like, I think I can stream from my phone. It would have been terrible. I was very close to streaming from my phone on YouTube. It wouldn't have gone well. So hopefully you'll get some drunk selfies. Listen, if there's any reason to follow me over on Twitter, let me bring my Twitter back up. I regularly post drunk selfies. Where's my? There will be on my Twitter this week drunk selfies tonight. So if you wanna follow me for that, FPL __Raptor, drop me a follow, and yeah, you might get yourself some drunk selfies. What am I doing? Right. Sorry, I lost my. There it is. I lost my Twitter thing. Right. There we go. I'm back. Right. Wildcard advice. Yeah, maybe we'll get onto the wildcard in a second. I don't think there are that many people wildcarding though, so I don't want to spend too much time on the wildcard. So yeah, let me have a little bit. Let me have a little bit of a think about how much I want to do that. Ian Padmore, thank you very much, Ian. I appreciate that. He says, good morning, great work as usual. Cheers, Ian. I appreciate that. Ian is one of our wonderful members, and I do appreciate the support. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate the super chat. Nico or Zinchenko? Definitely Zinchenko. Where can I buy your book? Oh, don't get me started on the book. You know I love to self-promote. Here we go. If you didn't know, I've written a book on FPL. It's called The Mind Game, and there's loads of stuff in it. Look at how 55,000 words. There's a lot of FPL stuff. There's questionnaires in there. There's an FPL bingo at the back of the book as well. I mean, it's a hefty old book. It's good. All of my FPL knowledge mixed with psychology in that book. The link's in the description, mate, essentially. Link's in the description if you want to buy a copy. Didn't think you were a vibes man. I'm a vibes man. It reminds me of that TikTok. What's that TikTok? Oh, I didn't realize you were cool like that. Speaking of TikTok, guys, what am I doing? What am I doing? Bang! Here he is, the main man himself. Oh God, that's not right. Is that one? Would that one be better? Here we go. You can't really see it. I've not got this set up. Go follow me over on TikTok. We've just hit 1,000 followers. I don't know what I'm doing over there particularly. Despite only being 25 years old, I'm a bit of an old man when it comes. Like everyone thinks I'm 40 anyway. Everyone keeps saying they think I'm in my late 40s. I'm only 25, but I am over on TikTok, and I'm basically just doing videos for my team each week. Maybe a couple of I might do wildcard drafts. I might do a few top tips. But go follow me over on TikTok. If you want short form content, they're only sort of 2 or 3 minutes each video, and it's a lot sort of quicker than my YouTube video. So if you want access and you want more content from myself, and you're over on TikTok, it's at FPL __Raptor. So yeah, go drop me a follow over there. I need to add it to all of my graphics to follow me over on TikTok. I've just joined the hub. Thanks for the tip, Ross. Great to hear. Thank you very much, FPL Cats. 94% team rating. That's very, very... Anything above 90% is really good. And just in case you're wondering, like I know a lot of people's are at 90%. You can definitely get below 90%, right? It's not like everyone's on 95% and above. It just means you've got a very good team. Good morning, Ross. The psychology in your book is a real help. That is awesome to hear. Thank you. Neto or Pereira today? You have a feeling Wolves are going to shock Spurs. Yeah, they could quite easily, to be fair. I don't think it will necessarily be a walk in the park, but I do expect Spurs to win fairly comfortably. So I wouldn't be starting Neto myself, personally. 25, are you sure? Yeah, I am sure. Don't make me get out the passport. The passport could be coming out at some point to prove my date of birth. Got drunk yesterday and took a -8. This is why I go out drinking on a Saturday as opposed to a Friday. This is why you don't go drinking on a Friday night. You go drinking on a Saturday once the deadline's done, and you're not going to make any mistakes. Grant says, I'm on 89%. That's still decent, Grant. That's still decent. You're fine. Why is everyone laughing that I'm 25? This isn't funny. This isn't a joke. I am 25. Vardy captain. He signed a new contract. Yeah, we was just saying over on Hub. Let me get that back up for those of you that just joined. Hub. If we go onto the toolbox and you look at the points. By the way, everyone was asking how you get price rise information on the Fantasy Football Hub website. When you go into toolbox, you can see that bar at the top. You can't see my cursor. Next to player profiles, it says more. If you click on more, and then you can see where it says price changes at the top, you can get all the price changes there. So once they hit 100, it means we're predicting a price rise. And then once they hit -100, it's predicting a price fall. So Saka's actually approaching a price fall. Anyone else of note? No one else really. Price rise. De Silva and Jensen are both approaching. Nico Williams is getting close. Patterson and Ward are getting close. Salah, Bertoni, Cucurella. There's quite a few sort of worthwhile players. So if you want access to price rises, that's how I've been tracking price rises there. But the reason I wanted to bring this up was, yeah, top predicted points for game week 3 is actually Jamie Vardy at 7.5. If we go from game week 3 to game week 6, it's back to Salah. But Son and Kane are still really high up. Look, Haaland's not even up in the top 5. So maybe Son and Kane are the way forward over the next few. But yeah, in game week 3, I do really like the Vardy shout. Should we do some player comparisons then? Because I think sort of a few people were interested in potentially us doing that. So let's do Nico Williams versus Andreas Pereira, I think was the first one. Let me know, like I said in the chat, guys, if there's any you want me to do. I've realised I've just missed a super chat. Hey, Ross, seems we're both on exactly the same overall with 157 points. I've gone Neto to Cucurella this week versus your gross punt, which is where we diverge. I'll be honest, mate, this week, I probably prefer Cucurella. So I think this week you'll probably jump ahead of me, mate. But yeah, hopefully we both have a good week. You look 25 to me, mate. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. You look at least 35. Oh, well, look, everyone was being really nice, and then that happens. 45 going on 25. Bloody hell. Right, sorry, what was I doing? So you can look at it in a couple of ways. You can either use this sort of map here. Let me go back so I can see what I'm showing you. So you've got this map here if you want it. So in blue is Nico Williams, in red is Andreas. So Nico Williams getting significantly more through balls, slightly more crosses, similar chances created, but more big chances created, more expected assists, more expected points, more expected goals, more big chances, more shots in the box. By all accounts, Nico Williams is the better player, attacking player, and he has the chance for a clean sheet. So this is why I'm currently favouring. Nico Williams ahead of Andreas for me. He's got better attacking data and the potential for a clean sheet in there. I suppose the only thing with a defender is they have the opportunity for negative points, whereas Andreas Pereira doesn't have the chance, unless he gets a booking or a red card, he's not going to get negative points. So, yeah, I think for me, I'm leaning towards Nico Williams. If we do Nico Williams versus sort of Patterson, because I know that's another sort of big one for some people that have like a double cheaper defense. You can see again, look at the red. Like Nico Williams has had a cracking start. He looks really good from an attacking sort of perspective. And I just think when you're looking at the underlying data, Nico Williams is going to come out on top to most sort of cheaper players there. Is there any other comparisons you want me to make, guys? Any other comparisons you're interested in? You look like the next James Bond. I love that. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Joe Irvin. Love the content, Ross. I'm 25 and you could be my dad. Well, I couldn't be your dad then, Joe, could I? If you're 25. But I guess I can be your FPL dad. That's absolutely fine. Please don't start calling me dad, though. It's like Chris Bumstead on Instagram. If anyone follows him, everyone calls him dad. I don't want to start being called dad on this channel. I shouldn't have said that. Everyone's going to start calling me dad now, right? Thank you for the super chat, Joe. I appreciate that. Ross, what is your PhD in? I'm doing my PhD in the role of virtual reality in elite football. So we are currently working with a Premier League club that cannot be named. And we're working with their first team to deliver virtual reality training to injured players. I am in... I'll be interested to see if someone can find it. There is an interview with a Premier League player. And I was at the training ground last week, at the Premier League training ground. And I'm in the back of the interview doing VR training. So if anyone watches the video where this person is giving an interview, I'm in the back of that interview and you can just see my big bald head. So it will be funny to see if anyone can spot that. But yeah, it's virtual reality in elite football, basically. Thank you, by the way, moderators and members, for especially Frosty, for pushing the likes. I appreciate that, guys. It means I don't have to. No, don't start calling me Daddy Ross. No. I'm not dad. Oh, Daddy Raptor, that started, for goodness sake. All right, I'm just going to accept it. Hi, Ross. Would you start Nico Williams on Neto? I would start Nico Williams myself, mate. Hey, Dad, what are your thoughts on Maddison captain? I don't mind it. I think Southampton's a really nice fixture. I would potentially be looking elsewhere personally, though. You want to do Nico Williams versus De Silva? Yeah, let's have a look at that. Guys, by all accounts, look at this. Nico Williams is the man to own, right? He is the man to own. Look at this little chart. It's going to be a bit small to sort of scroll down and show the exact stats. If I zoom in, how does that look? Okay, that doesn't work too bad. Just look at some of the... This is per start, right? 4.32 expected points, 0.33. I know it's very small sample size, but 0.5 big chances. He's getting 1.5 shots in the box. Nico Williams is really impressed. I'm very happy. This is the other reason I'm not necessarily overly keen on doing like Trippier to a Cucurella this week, because I don't think you necessarily need to sell Nico Williams. I need to bench Nico Williams. I think he's absolutely fine start. The only reason we're probably looking to bench him is because obviously he's not playing for the best defence, understandably, in Forest, and he's 4 million. I think that does pay into our thinking a little bit. Is it Nottingham Forest? It's not Nottingham Forest, no. I guess I can say the clubs that it's not. I just can't say the club that it is. Can we talk about Vardy, boss man? How risky is he? I love it. I'd be very tempted if I owned Vardy to captain him. If you made substitutions before the deadline, can you go back and change the changes you've made? Substitutions, yes, not transfers, though. Substitutions, you can make as many as you want, but you can't transfer a player out back and forth. Forest have conceded 20-plus shots in each of their 2 games, plus... So, yeah, so I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet, Forest, but we don't need it to. When he's as attacking as he is, I don't think he necessarily needs to... I don't think he needs the... I know it's such a cliche thing to say, but I don't think he needs the clean sheet. Daddy Raptor, who's the best £4.5 million defender right now? I would say Rico Henry or... like Ben Mee, Janssen, or Dunk. I would go Brentford or Brighton, personally. Ross, can you please compare Neto and Andreas? Of course I can. Seeing as you asked so politely, let's have a look at Neto and Andreas. Oh, okay, this is a slightly different one. So, again, by all accounts, Neto's the one coming out on top there. More big chances created, more expected assists, more expected points. I would still lean towards Andreas for the fixture, but Neto is definitely the more attacking player, getting the better chances, to be honest. So, by all accounts, I would still probably be on Andreas. But yeah, the stats definitely look better for Neto. Depends what you value more, sort of underlying data or the fixture. But the fixture's not easy for Fulham. Brentford have looked very, very decent, but obviously it's a better fixture than Spurs. Kulusevski versus Saka. Yeah, we can have a look at their underlying data. I think it will be relatively close. God, Jesus, it is relatively close. It's very close. For all of the... 1 second. Apologies, had to mute myself there. For the sort of creative data, big chances created, expected assist, expected points, expected goals, it's all very similar. You're just getting a little bit more sort of shots in general and touches in the box from Saka. But Kulusevski versus Saka is virtually identical. Virtually identical. What do you think about Ward versus Alisson? Please answer me. I'd back the Liverpool clean sheet. Sanchez or Ward? For me, when I'm looking at my keeper, unless it's a very obvious decision, i.e. unless you're saying literally something like, unless it's already like a very obvious fixture, like I said, if Ward's playing against Bournemouth and Sanchez is playing against Man City, unless it's something where the fixtures are that different, I think when it's a fairly close one, I would be leaning toward the better keeper and the better defence, which in this case would be Sanchez, would be Alisson. This is a recurring one on forums. Cucurella or Gabriel? I think if you don't own Arsenal defence already, I'd go Gabriel. If you already own a Ramsdale or a SALAH, I would be looking at potentially going Cucurella. Sorry, the chat is moving really quickly. I'm trying to get answering to everything, but it's not going to be easy. Ben Mee or Perisic? I think long-term Ben Mee, but Perisic could have pretty high upside this week if he gets 60 minutes. Seen a few doing triple captain on Salah. Are Manchester United really that bad? No, I wouldn't even dream of that personally. It's a single game week and it's not... Yeah, Manchester United haven't been great defensively. And listen, I'm captain in Salah. I would personally not be backing... sorry, I lost my... I would personally not be backing him for triple captaincy, 740 likes. Well done, Ross. That is madness, isn't it? Do you reckon we can get to 1,000 likes? Is that too optimistic? Probably too optimistic, to be honest. Let's see. If you are watching this and you haven't liked, please do drop a like. Maybe we can hit 800. Maybe that's a slightly more realistic goal. Patterson or Neto? I'm going to move off of this screen, though, because it's not particularly... The way I've set it up isn't looking great, to be honest. I would be probably starting Patterson myself, but I don't mind starting Neto if you want to. Have we got any early team news? Not as far as I know, personally, no. Not as far as I know, but we'll have to take a look. 828 likes. You guys are fantastic. This has been a class stream. Thank you very much for being here. I do appreciate it. I used my wildcard. Can you give me a team for it? Potentially, we'll look at that in a second. I want to answer as many questions as I can personally first. Do you think Raya is getting slept on a bit? They have great fixtures and will have decent save points. I think Raya and Sanchez are arguably the best two keepers moving forward, yeah. Are Leicester good to work with, Dad? I don't work with Leicester, but there we go. Hey, Ross, would you do Robertson to Nico Williams and Neto to Luis Diaz Kulusevski? Yeah, maybe potentially, but I don't know if I want to take... I wouldn't be that keen on taking Robertson out, but I don't mind it. Yeah, it's not too bad. Good morning, Raptor bruv. Good morning, Chris. I appreciate you being here. Thank you, mate. Chilwell or Patterson? I would be leaning toward... I would be leaning to... I keep going back and forth on this. Maybe Andreas and De Silva. Seeing as Andreas is fit, maybe Andreas and De Silva. But I do think Patterson's a good shout this week. Has the VR stuff been having a positive results, or is it way too early to tell? A little bit too early to tell, but generally the players are buying into the VR. It's normally the coaches that are quite resistant. Like, coaches think it's a bit of like a gimmick, but the players tend to love using the VR. And the system that we're using is ridiculously good. Like, I've used the system before. You sometimes forget you're not playing real football. It's so like high quality and crisp. So, dear Ross, was late to join today. What are your plans this game week? I have already done Bailey to Gross, and I'm probably going to leave it there and roll the second free transfer, which means next week I'm going to have 2 free transfers and 0.4 million in the bank. Got a super chat from Simon. Thank you very much, Simon. He says, I have the exact money for Almiron to Diaz, but considering option of Maddison for 1 week, then Diaz next week. Would you bother or just go straight to Diaz? I would just go straight to Diaz. I think it's a good fixture. He's going to play 90 minutes probably just due to the injuries and suspensions that Liverpool have. And I think they've got Bournemouth next week. So are you confident enough that Maddison's going to outscore Diaz by more than 4? Maybe, but I would probably just be looking to... I would probably just go straight to Diaz personally. Yeah, that's my personal opinion though. It's a close one. It is a close one. Yeah, I know people are all telling me Andy's live. That's absolutely fine. If you want to go watch Andy stream, I appreciate you being here. I know Andy, everyone's favourite YouTuber. To be honest, he's my favourite YouTuber as well. If I weren't here, I would probably be watching Andy stream. So by all means, go. But for those of you that stay, I do massively appreciate it, and we'll carry on answering your questions because yeah, the less people that are in here, I guess the more questions we can answer. Nico Williams or Andrew? Do you know what? I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for it. I don't know how it's gonna go. I'm going to try to open up Photoshop and do this with you now. Let's have a go. All right, what do I need to open? I want that. It's that one. No, it's that one. And then it's that. I'm really sorry if you can see all sorts of nonsense here. No. It's going to be... What am I doing? It's not that one. Bear with me 2 seconds. I'm trying to get up something so that I can help you with your benching decisions. I'm just trying to work out the easiest way to do that. Okay. This is going to be hilarious to try and get done. Hello. What have we got here? Let me put that below my camera. Oh, this is actually hilarious to try and do this live on stream. Behind the scenes, Photoshop with Raptor. Does that work? Right, let's see how that goes then. Right, benching decisions. I'm hoping you guys are going to be able to see this then. This is from last week, right? I think this is going to work. So, what are the benching decisions that you guys want to see from me? Yeah, it is a very, very epic kind of idea, isn't it? To live stream from your wedding day. It's absolutely class. He's a legend, isn't he? He's a legend in the game. He is a legend in the game. Right, Andreas. Neto. Right, I would put Neto just below Andreas. Like I said, just comment the names that you're interested in me deciding, and I'm going to leave this up for a bit. Nico Williams. I would put Williams top. I would just about put Patterson there. And I think I would have the Silva in there. I would have both these guys down here. I'm not particularly interested in that. Start Pascal Gross. I'd have cheeky Pascal Gross at the top. Oh. Rodrigo. That's a good one. I'm hoping this is coming through to you. I assume it is because no one said that it isn't. It's not ideal. It's not the prettiest thing to look at. This is how I make my graphics, by the way, guys, if you're interested. Mason Mount. Oh, Mount's going to be at the top. Absolutely. You're not benching Mason Mount against Leeds. Kyle Walker. Trippier. Trippier would be at the bottom. I can't see him keeping a clean sheet. KDH, that's a good one. You are doing a great job. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And thank you to the over 1,000 people that are still here with me. I do really appreciate you very much. Nico Andreas, I'm doing it's the whole point of this right now. What I'm doing right now, is helping you with your benching decisions. Just let me know if there's anyone else that's not on this list that you want me to discuss. Perisic, yeah, right at the top. Cucurella would be right at the top as well. Bailey, Bailey's an interesting one, isn't it? I'd have Bailey in there. Robertson and Neto dropped in price. Yeah, they did, didn't they? Unfortunately. Eze. Ooh. I really like Eze this week, you know. I'd potentially have Eze up there. Harrison would probably be just below Bailey, maybe. Hey, Ross, I stupidly used my triple captain on Haaland game week 2. I'm fairly new to properly trying on FPL. Is my mini league over? No, not at all. Triple captaincy, you're probably likely to get like 12 points. You got 5 points anyway, so no, it's definitely not. Triple captaincy is very overrated. Gabriel. Oh, he'd be right at the top for me. Anyone else? Yeah, apparently Silva confirmed that Andreas Pereira is fit. So I don't like how low down I've got Andreas and De Silva, but I think all of the options above are pretty good. Maybe I would be tempted to do that. Even Patterson's very low down. Like, they've got good fixtures, but the other names you're giving me I just think are very good options. Why is Patterson's? Yeah, Patterson is very low, but is he a better option than Mount, Cucurella, Perisic, Gabriel, Gross, Eze, Rodrigo? I'm not convinced. Zinchenko would be up there just above Gabriel, probably. He's looked really good, hasn't he? Oh. Aronson would be in there with Harrison, probably. I think that's fairly decent for now, then. I think that's all right for now-ish. If you're asking questions like Jensen, he would be in there roughly with De Silva. If you're asking questions like, Gabriel or Zinchenko, like, these are roughly the same. So hopefully that helps you guys out. People are asking about their Everton midfielders. I'd be starting all of them pretty much. They'd be probably right at the top of my list. Something like probably there. Gray, Gordon, Iwobi, all of the Everton boys. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit with your benching headaches. Again, this is just my opinion. I probably didn't do particularly well last week, to be honest, but that's just my opinion. Let me... What happens if I do that? Don't know what I'm doing. That'll do. Hey, Ross, what's your score predictions again? Yeah, I'm going to do my score predictions in... I guess we could do those now if we want to. Let me... If I now hide that, and then... Sorry, there's so many things going on because I've got 40 things open. I want... Here we go. Here are my score predictions. You've put the 3 players I'm stuck between pretty much next to each other so hard this week. Yeah, this is the thing. Like, I'm just randomly chucking different people in different positions. To be honest, it comes down to what you truly believe. Right. What do we think some of these score predictions? Sorry. Should we go through each game by game? Let me know in the chat what you want me to do. Should we go through game by game and have a bit of a chat about it? Or do you want me to just leave this on screen and then just answer your questions? Let me do a poll. I've just chucked a poll in the chat quickly, guys, for the 1,000 of you that are still in here. By the way, we're on 905 likes. The most likes I've ever had on a live stream is about 600. So if we get 100 more likes, we actually hit 1,000 likes on a live stream, which is bonkers. So please, 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 if you're still watching this, you haven't liked, drop a like on the video, our stream. Think there's a mistake. You said you weren't sure if Gross was getting 2 or 3, but you have their score down as 1. Yeah, that's a bit of a rookie error, isn't it? No, I don't fancy Pascal Gross to do that well this week, but I think he's got a return in him, potentially. Right, everyone wants me to do game-by-game predictions, which is what we're going to do then. Right. Game 1, Spurs versus Wolves. Hit me with your predictions in the chat. Hit me with your predictions. Spurs versus Wolves. I think the game will be fairly tight for most of the game. I'm thinking probably like 1 or 2-0 for most of the game. Spurs fairly in control. Maybe Wolves getting a couple of chances. And then I think they'll probably nick a late one. Probably like Son on the counter or Richarlison coming on. So at the moment, I'm thinking Spurs clean sheet, 3-0. If you've got Perisic and he plays 60, I think you're laughing. I think if you captain Kane or Son, you're probably likely to get an attacking return or 2. I fancy Spurs to do quite well this week. But let me know in the chat what we all saying. 3-0, 3-0, 4-0, 2-0. Lots of 3-0s. I don't know if that's biased by just because that's what I've said. 3-1. I did actually have 3-1 down. I just think Spurs will keep him out. If you think 3-1, then maybe you start Neto and hope that Neto's the one that grabs the 1 goal. Potentially. Right, 3-0 Spurs. By the way, we got quite a lot right last week. I was looking back at them. I was like, I'm pretty happy with the way we did that. Spurs always lose. Spurs do struggle a little bit against Wolves, to be honest. 1-0 KG game, Liam says. Yeah, I could see it. I could definitely see it. It is the early kickoff as well. They say don't back the early kickoff. Cool. Right, so Spurs versus Wolves 3-0. That's the way I'm predicting it to go. But yeah, I could see it being a little bit more cagey. What about Palace versus Villa? I found this one really tricky to predict, but I've been fairly impressed by Palace, considering their tricky opening 2 fixtures. They're a very good defence, and I fancy them to get the job done at Selhurst Park. So I think Palace will have the better of Villa, but I don't think this will be an easy game for Palace. So I've gone for a 1-0 Palace win. But again, I don't necessarily think that's the easiest fixture in the world for them. (2-1) Palace is a very popular prediction in the chat. 1-1. Yeah, 2-1 Palace I could see. Tight 1-1. It's going to end up being like a 6-goal thriller, but looking at this doesn't look to me like a game with a lot of goals in Palace versus Villa. You've got 2 defences that are fairly good, especially in Palace. 2 attacks that aren't the most free-flowing attacks. I could see that being 1-0. 1-0 Zaha penalty. 10 or 11 points for Zaha. Cool. Everton versus Forest. Everton versus Forest. Really struggle with this one. I just think both pretty poor defences, both pretty poor going forward. I don't think they're necessarily the 2 best teams, but I'm hoping that Williams is the one that gets the goal or the assist, but I do think that both teams will concede personally. But I don't necessarily think... I don't know. It could go either way, to be honest. I don't think that's... apologies. I don't think that's an easy game to call. Oh, some really different predictions. Everton 4-0, 1-0 Forest, 1-1, 3-2. Right, this is the most random the predictions have been. 2-2. Do you think Eze is a punt? Yeah, I don't mind Eze as a punt. I don't think it's the best fixture. I don't think they've got the best fixtures, Palace, over the upcoming weeks, but there are worse punts out there. He did look very, very good, didn't he, in Game Week 2? Bowen hat-trick this week. You had it here first. Interesting. Everton don't have a striker, exactly. So I don't see they're going to score many goals, but I do think they could nick something. Nottingham Forest have been really poor defensively. Cool, right. So that one, that we don't know, basically. Everyone's predicting all over the place for that one. McNeil, Gordon or Gray? I would be leaning towards Damari Gray just about. Cool. Fulham versus Brentford. I don't know if Clive is in the chat, but I have got the Buzzing Bees down to win comfortably. I think they've looked very, very good. I've got them down as a 2-0 win against Fulham. I think they've just looked. It wasn't even in game week 1. They looked a little bit shaky at the back, but you got to think Leicester are a very, very good very good attacking outfit. So I guess it could be 2-1 Brentford. I wouldn't be surprised if Fulham score, but I think Fulham will have too much for I think Brentford will have too much for Fulham. Neto or Nico Williams? Need your help. Nico Williams. Stinks of a draw. Interesting. I think Brentford are a better team than Fulham, so I would be edging towards Brentford getting the win here. Yeah, Clive's in the chat. For those of you that don't know, that our moderator and member Clive is a massive Brentford fan. And he tends to be pretty accurate. He is slightly optimistic, I'll be honest. Sometimes a little bit too optimistic. But tends to be pretty accurate. He's fancying a 3-1 Bees win. So, yeah, I think most people predicting Brentford to win. But a couple of people predicting like a tight Fulham win. Like 1-1 by 1 or 2 goals. Cool. Leicester, Southampton. I have no idea. This game could be 5-5. It could be 0-0. I just think that Southampton really... They're just so inconsistent, aren't they? But then again, Leicester's defence is super poor. So this does have... It looks like it could be similar to what we saw in game week 1 and 2 with Leicester. It could be sort of 2-2, 4-2. But Leicester aren't just going to continue to win games like 4-2, 5-2, 3-2. I think they will eventually tighten up a little bit at the back, although they're losing for Fafana, so... God knows if that will happen this week. Of course, this was the game... I don't know if it was home or away. I can't remember, actually. This was the game where Leicester won 9-0. So, are we going to see a repeat 9-0? I don't think so. Leicester is such an unknown quantity at the moment. That's exactly right, Cameron. You've nailed it there with what you've said. They are a bit of an unknown quantity, aren't they? Or entity, quantity, entity. You know, they're we don't know exactly how they're going to perform. So, I'm going to go 2-0. But it could be 2-2, it could be 3-2, it could be... I don't have a clue here. I'll be completely honest. This one I really struggle with. Quite a few people saying 3-1 Leicester. Looking through the chat, Jamie, Desislava, that's a cool name. Stan, a lot of people saying 3-1 there. So maybe 3-1 Leicester is the more accurate one. Have we got any early Perisic news? Good question. I don't know. Let me check. Whilst I'm looking for early Perisic news, please predict Bournemouth versus Arsenal is the next one. What do you think the Arsenal versus Bournemouth result's going to be? What do you think for Bournemouth versus Arsenal? I haven't seen any early Perisic team news, I'll be honest. Let me just search for him. No, but to be honest, we got 2 pieces of team news from 2 fairly reliable sources, from Paul O'Keefe and from Team News and Ticks yesterday. So 2 pieces of news yesterday, which both said Perisic is starting. So I would feel comfortable saying that unless we get updated news, I'd feel comfortable starting Perisic. Maybe you don't bring him in, though. Maybe there are slightly better players to bring in. 4-0, 4-0, 3-0, 2-0. Bloody hell. Everyone are fancying Arsenal to batter. If you fancy Arsenal to score 4 or more goals, maybe you give Jesus the armband. 4-1, 3-1. I really hope Arsenal keep a clean sheet, but I'm just not that confident. They don't look poor defensively, but they're certainly not a really poor... They're certainly not a great defence. And Ramsdale's making a lot of those silly errors that he made last season. So I'm going 3-1. I think Arsenal will have too much, but I think Bournemouth will score. But as a Ramsdale owner, I could really do with a clean sheet here, to be honest, considering we paid 5 million for him. Yes, we have just hit 1,000 likes. That is genuinely ridiculous. Only this week was the first time I hit 1,000 likes on a video. We hit it on all 3 videos, and we've just hit it on the live stream as well. Absolutely ridiculous. Thank you so much. If you're one of the 1,000 people that's dropped a like on the video, I appreciate you so much, and I will not ask a single further time this stream for people to like. That's it. I'm done. I'm done asking for likes. Thank you very much. Ramsdale or Ward? Definitely Ramsdale for me. Sanchez or Ward? I would go Sanchez. I just don't... I know I've predicted a Leicester clean sheet here. I wouldn't pay too much attention to that. The Leicester defence isn't fantastic. So if you're going off of underlying data, you're going off the eye test, rather than my random predictions on this sheet, I would probably be starting most keepers ahead of Ward. But it is a good fixture. It is a good fixture. No more likes. Now's the time for memberships and super chats. You're damn right, Frosty. You're damn right. Join the Rap Tier family. Well deserved, Ross. You're the GOAT. Thank you very much. Everyone's been very nice. I appreciate you all very much, those of you that are here. Sorry, where's the next one? Chelsea versus Leeds. What do we think for Chelsea versus Leeds? Only just getting 1K likes on your videos is criminal. It's great content. I appreciate that, Dave. And I appreciate I think you've commented on pretty much every video I've ever uploaded. So you are a legend. I appreciate that. What do we think on Chelsea Leeds? It's a tricky one, right? Because Leeds are very good attacking. But I think Chelsea have looked pretty decent defensively. So I've gone for a 3-0 convincing Chelsea win. But I wouldn't be surprised if Leeds do grab a goal. Well done, Daddy Raptor. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I've got a feeling that's going to stick, isn't it, for future videos? Chelsea need to win. Yeah, this is a game. The thing is, it is at Ellen Road. The only thing that puts me off maybe saying a convincing win for Chelsea is that it is at Ellen Road, and that can be a tricky place to go to. I think if Chelsea grab an early goal, 3-0. If Chelsea struggle, it could be anything, to be honest. 2-1 Chelsea, it'll be tight because Tuchel got sent off. Okay, fair enough. I actually didn't realise Tuchel got sent off. I knew Conte got sent off. I didn't realise Tuchel was sent off as well. Yeah, that maybe changes things slightly. Although he still get his points across from the stands, I assume. 7-0 to Chelsea. Havertz at striker with no goal involvements. That is still far too recent to joke about, DJ Hammer. Far too recent to joke about. Yeah, Indian football coach says, I think Leeds will score. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Who do you support? I support Manchester United, which we're not going to discuss in this stream because it's embarrassing. Only Tuchel got a ban. So Conte didn't get sent off. I thought Conte was the one that got sent off. Okay, fair enough. I think it's still unconfirmed if Tuchel will miss the match. Interesting. Wait, you're 25. I'd have guessed 24. You'll look old by the time you're finished the PhD. That's very nice. I don't know if you mean it, but yeah, thank you very much for saying I look 24. Got to go. Thanks for the stream and good luck in your game week, Daddy. No worries at all. Thank you very much. Both got banned. Okay, both got sent off. Yeah, all right. To be honest, I was just too busy with all the memes and stuff. I wasn't really focusing on what was going on with everything else. By the way, guys, let me just switch quickly to it. I'm not going to talk about this for too long. Don't click off the stream. Before we sort of get on to some more questions, quickly in the next 15 minutes or the next sort of half an hour, download Fanslide. Like I said, it's completely free to play. It's in-play fantasy football. So you swipe the players in that you think are going to do well. So it's like FPL, but you can make changes throughout the game. So if you're watching the game, you're thinking, Kane's making some really good... Because this is going to be for Wolves versus Spurs, the 12:30 game. If you think Kane's going to get into some really good positions, like Kane's getting in behind or Kane's getting good opportunities, but he's not quite clicking, you can slide Kane in. And then if Kane gets a shot on target, Kane gets a goal, he's going to get you loads of points. And as you can see, you can slide in for single, double, and triple. So it massively supports the channel alongside sort of liking, commenting, just alongside being here. It's completely free. There are paid for games and tournaments if you want to enter them. It's completely free to do. Just click the link in the description, right? And it will take you there. And once you've done that, it should technically put you into my group immediately. Right, so if you go onto groups at the bottom of the app, there's a group section. That's basically like leagues. It will take you into my league, and you can compete against me. So I'm going to be playing the 12:30 Wolves versus Spurs game. If you can get a better score than me, we'll talk about it in the next video. So yeah, try to double tap. Yeah, you can't skip. You can't. That's hilarious. You can't skip. You can't skip ads, can you? In a live stream. Haha. FPL Harry raid. Oh, was Harry there? Nice. I didn't realise Harry was ending the stream a little bit early. Thank you very much, Harry. I appreciate that. By the way, if you're watching my stream, this is a bit of like Inception, Streamception. If you're watching my stream and you've not come from FPL Harry, go subscribe to FPL Harry. He's approaching 30,000 subscribers. So yeah, if you're coming from Harry's stream and you're not yet subscribed to Harry, we give and take. We love each other on these FPL YouTubers. So if you've not yet subscribed to, it's just FPL Harry on YouTube. Go subscribe to him. Go like his content. Almost at 30,000 subscribers. So go help him achieve that. Tell us who to captain. I'm captaining Salah, but I think Salah, Haaland, Jesus, they're all fantastic options, to be honest. They're all fantastic options. Daily life advice with Daddy Raptor. If you've missed it, sorry. By the way, Harry, if you're still watching, everyone's calling me Daddy Raptor all of a sudden. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but listen, there are worse things to be called for sure. There are worse things to be called. Harry says 2,500 views for you. That is mad. Yeah, 2,500 live viewers was ridiculous, mate. Absolutely ridiculous. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. I don't think I'll ever hit that again. It was only because Andy wasn't streaming at the time. If Andy was streaming, it would have never hit that height. Dr. Raptor soon. Yeah, in a couple of years, I'll be Dr. Raptor. Hashtag Harry sent me. I don't think it's hashtag Harry. I do like hashtag Harry, though. Looking forward to a bigger split in the captaincy this game week. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a bigger split, isn't there? You got 4 good options. You got Salah, Haaland, Jesus, and then one of the Spurs attackers, Son and Kane. You've even got, like I said, Sterling and Vardy. I really back Sterling and Vardy to do well. Really do. Points predictions on the Hub website were... If it loads. There you go. Vardy, Son, Salah, Kane, Sterling. They're your top 5. They're your top 5 projected points for game week 3. So if you want some out-the-box captaincies, Vardy, Son, Kane and Sterling, all great options. De Bruyne and Haaland are down here. Even a Harvey Barnes is quite high up. Trent, James. I mean, you've got some really good options there. I would be very tempted by Vardy and Sterling if I owned either of them. But for me, I'm going to go for the Mr. Reliable, Mr. Safe, Mohamed Salah, I think. That is my current plan there. Sorry. Dear Daddy Raptor. Yeah, it's going to be a new column. I'm going to start a column. Dear Daddy Raptor. Father Velociraptor. That's an interesting one. The final Trippier. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to keep Trippier. Yeah, sorry. I didn't even think about my team, guys. I've completely forgot. I'm too busy answering your questions. I'm leaving it as is. I'm not confident. So just to explain it, I'm not confident that whoever I bring in, Perisic or Cucurella, is going to outscore Nico Williams this week. I think Nico Williams is a good shout. And I like Trippier moving forward. Like I said, if you can get away with benching Trippier in game week 3 and game week 5, you get him for Wolves, Palace, West Ham, Bournemouth. I think they're a good set of fixtures. And he's got me 14 points in the first 2 weeks. I see no real reason to sell him. So I am going to be leaving the team as it is. As it is. Quite hungry. My belly's rumbling. So there we go. That is my final decision. Good luck for this game week, Ross. I can't have any worse luck than my first 2. Yeah, best of luck, mate. You're a top manager, Scotty. So I'm sure you'll bounce back immediately. Best of luck. George says Saka to Diaz for a -4. I would absolutely not be doing that, no. I'd be keeping Saka for sure. Would not be selling Saka to Diaz. I actually think arguably Saka's a better option this week. Why not Walker? I don't mind Walker. He's just a bit of a 6-point merchant. So I'm interested in either keeping Nico or going a little bit more of a high upside pick. Should we switch over to Twitter and see if we can get any early team news? I need to tweet my team as well. Let me just screenshot it. Here we go. In he goes. Game week 3. Lock. Oh, God. Tweeting 101 with FPL Raptor. Oh, goodness me. Arrow. This is fun live on stream, isn't it? I'm gonna have to just put gross because I don't have the B copy pasted. I can't be. But you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna commit to getting that B because I don't know how to get it on my computer at the moment. To be honest. There we go. Committed. I am 69k. By the way, get your teams locked in. We've got like 5 minutes left. Get your teams locked in. Salah captain. I don't know why I'm singing that. I think it was on a TikTok. What was that old advert with the green car? What was that advert? Do you remember the advert? I can't remember what it was. I'm just chatting nonsense anyway. Game week 3. Bailey to Gross. Salah captaincy. 69k. Rolling the second free transfer. Best of luck, everyone. Sweet. Tweet. Will you make a separate video for predictions each week? I just don't have the time. Maybe. It's Alt and 0223 on Windows PC. Bloody hell. Okay. LV, that was the advert. Yeah, there is. It's going around on TikTok, isn't it? That's why it was in my head. LV. Well done. Well done, everyone that reminded me of that. Tweet. Copy link. Go like this tweet. Run the likes up on this tweet. Get the tweet to 500 likes. Go, go, go. Is anything happening in the notifications? Let's scroll through Raptors notifications together. That's fine. Love it. Give you a cheeky retweet, Jordan. Not a bad place to listen to Raptors live stream. Out on a nice walk. I don't think there's anything particularly interesting going on in there. Far too many notifications. That's a gross transfer, Ross. Outrageous. Go like it. Make me famous. There you go. Right, sorry. We wanted Perisic's early team news. I'm just going to scroll through Twitter just briefly, just to check if we've got any early team news. It would be kind of at the top, to be honest, but I'm not convinced we're going to get early team news, to be honest. So maybe lock in your team. Maybe lock in your team now. This is my team again, if you want to just quickly see it. That's the team that I'm rocking with at the moment. What's many last minute questions? Is a -8 for Salah a good choice? It's worth getting Salah in. I'd need to see the context of the hit, really, to give you proper advice. Frosty says, man, I'm so stuck on Aronson versus Andreas. I don't think there is a correct decision considering I have James and De Silva. I would lean towards Andreas myself, Frosty, but I don't think either Brentford or Leeds are scoring a massive amount. What do you think in starting Ward over Raya, please? Oh, I'd definitely be starting Raya, personally. Nico in a 5 at the back or Andreas in a 4-4-2. I personally am leaning towards Nico. I did make this very briefly live on Photoshop. It was quite funny. Where was it? It was this one? No, this one. And then this. I don't know why it's done that. let's just chuck that randomly in there very briefly. So this is what I said. I would be starting sort of Gross ahead of most people. Gabriel and Zinchenko as well. With regards to sort of like Nico Williams, De Silva, Andreas, all of those, Patterson, I think Nico Williams is just about at the top for me. Outside of that, I would probably be looking at then maybe just about De Silva ahead of Andreas and then Patterson. But it's all very, very close, to be honest, guys. I don't think there's a massive amount in it, to be honest. I don't think there's a massive amount in all of the sort of decisions. They're very tight at the moment. The Spurs Express account tweeted it. Let's have a look. I reckon it will pop up probably on my... No, Spurs Express. Spurs Express. I can't see anything, unless it's a different Spurs Express. I mean, Paul O'Keefe said that Perisic is starting, right? Oh, it's FPL Booner. Yes, you've got to look straight away. Whenever you see this, look at the handle. Booner. Booner just being Booner. It's not the Spurs Express. It's not the Spurs Express. Make sure you got your teams locked in, by the way, guys. I'm just going to refresh my team quickly. I think we're good. Salah captain, Haaland vice captain. Make sure you've sorted your vice captain because there's a small chance that the game's called off due to protest. So make sure you've sorted your vice captain. I'm going to start Williams ahead of Andreas and I'm going to keep Trippier. So I'm happy with that moving forward. Chris has been a member for 6 months. Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate that. You've been boonered. I mean, I wasn't boonered. I spotted that like that. Sometimes I'm boonered, but no, this time I wasn't boonered particularly. What are people saying about my team? How much hate am I getting? Gross, it's a trap. Everyone's hating on Pascal Gross. You won't be hating when he scores 50 goals this season. No, he's not going to. Like I said, I haven't brought him in just for this week. It's his most difficult fixture this week. I definitely haven't brought him in just for this week. Someone took that. Loads of people take the bait. People take the bait non-stop with Boona. How many people... It got 99 likes and 13 retweets, so people definitely believed it. You got 2 minutes left. At the time of you, these words coming out, because there's a bit of a delay, you might have about a minute left. Make sure your team's locked in. 3 things. Lock your team in. Lock your vice captaincy in, because like I said, this week in particular, it might be needed. Make sure your vice captain's sorted, and make sure your bench order is sorted as well. You might not need them. If the Liverpool game's called off, we'll all need our all of our bench, but you may end up needing your bench. So just make sure your bench order is sorted as well. Get that locked in the final minute. What did Boona do? Boona pretends to be different journalists and different like journalism accounts and stuff, and then he tweets fake news. Perisic confirmed to start, just heard. Yeah, it sounds like he's going to start. I haven't seen anything this morning. But as of yesterday, it looked like Perisic was starting. So that's the team. I'm feeling fairly happy. What do we think of the team going into this week? I think it's good. I think we look good. I don't think it's the best team in the world, but I think it looks pretty strong. How much Casemiro will cost, do you think? 6 mil? 5.5. You'd assume 5.5. Price him at the same as most other sort of defensive midfielders. He could be 6, though. He could be 6. Spurs Express say Kulusevski bench, Perisic starts. That's not Spurs Express, Steve. That's Boona. That's FPL Boona. Please don't believe that. FPL Boona pretending to be Spurs Express. It's better than yours. Okay, that's good to hear. Glad we're doing well. By the way, when the deadline ends, don't click off. We sort of sit here and chat about different things and answer different questions. So if you're interested in just chatting FPL for another half hour, we might even go for an hour. We're going to just sit here and just chat for a bit. So if you want to carry on chilling with me, don't click off now. We're going to carry on just chatting. It's really good vibes. As soon as the deadline ends, good vibes. Right, we are locked. We are officially locked. Best of luck for Game Week 3. If you are leaving now, thank you so much for being here. If you've been here for the entire stream, I do really appreciate that. Drop a like on your way out, but no obligation. We hit 1,000 likes already, which is crazy. So thank you very much. But hopefully most of you end up staying. Hopefully most of you end up staying. Here we go, officially. I always get a bit of like a funny feeling in my stomach when the deadline goes. It's like, whew, and done, and relax. I mean, as you can imagine, throughout the week, being an FPL content creator is pretty hectic. There's lots of things to... Once the deadline goes, yeah, you've got to sort of keep track of your team throughout the weekend, but you can relax just a little bit. And breathe. Feeling good for this game week. 100 points incoming. That is wild. I've just realised I've got 11 away players this week as well. 11 away players. Gay says, love you. Got to go. Thank you very much. Love you too, my man. Or woman. I don't actually know. I say my man because 99% of my viewer base are men, but could well be a woman. I love whoever you are. Doesn't really matter to me. I love you. If you're one of the 752 people here, I love you too. Got to spread love. Find people in your world and your life. Here we go. Here we go. This is when we start digressing. Find people in your life that are full of positivity and love. People are so embarrassed to be like loving and to be caring, and like people feel like, especially men, feel like it's like not a manly thing to do to show love to people around you. Find people in your life that are only positive, that spread love and that are caring and kind. That is my advice for today. Surround yourself with loving people. So there's now 800 people here. I love all 800 of you. You're all awesome. Ross, I just need to make a cup of tea and I'll be back in 2 minutes. I will still be here in 2 minutes. You go make your cup of tea. I'd quite like it. Can you make me a cup of tea whilst you're there, please? I'd quite like a cup of tea. Now for the best part of the stream. This is when things get interesting. I'm going to mute myself for 5 seconds and I'm going to blow my fan on me and then I'm going to unmute myself. There we go. I had 5 seconds of the fan because it's quite hot in here. By the way, if you're wondering why I had to mute myself, I'll do it for 2 seconds. This is the sound when the fan's on. And I can't have that in your ears as you're watching this, so unfortunately I have to have no fan. Right, questions and questions. I'm back after watching Andy's live. Hey, how was Andy's live stream? Was it funny? Was he in a suit or was he just chilled in his hotel? I'm very interested to hear what he streamed. I wish I'll go back and watch it later. I'm a big fan of Andy's. So yeah. Let me know what the stream was like. Let's Talk FPL is such a legend. Yeah, he is such a legend, isn't? Sorry, my Alexa just lit up in front of me. I said, let's talk FPL. My Alexa went bing. Ross, never get discouraged with the replies from your tweets. I liked your last one. No clue why it was misunderstood. Yeah, if you follow me over on Twitter, shall I show you? Let's have a discussion around it. I put out a tweet yesterday. Basically, I do daily life advice tweets. So every Raptor. Do you know what? Let's search for it. If you type in daily life advice with Raptor, you should bring up all of my tweets. And I tweet every night at 9 p.m. and loads of daily advice, like things that I think really, really do help. I think they do anyway. I try and make people smile. I put out this tweet yesterday. It said, you are the protagonist and author of your own life. Demand a central role in your life and write the life that you want for yourself. You are in control and you have the final say. Do what makes you happy and live a life worth living. The sentiment behind this was that whilst I think it's incredibly important to make other people happy and to be kind and caring, and you guys know, and this isn't a fake, I'm not an actor, I don't try and play a part on the screen. This is truly who I am. People that know me in real life will know this. I think it's of the utmost important that you're kind and caring to other people and that you're not selfish. I hate selfish people. I hate it when people aren't kind and caring and aren't empathetic. But this is more to say, grab your life and try and create a life that you want. Live a life worth living. That's sort of my motto in life. Try and find a way to live a life worth living and to try and demand that you have the happiness that you deserve, because everyone deserves to be happy. And I understand some people in their lives, unfortunately, in different countries, in different circumstances, they can't demand a central role in their life, right? They don't have the ability to do so. And some people rightly picked up on that. And that's probably potentially slightly ignorant of me to say that everyone can sort of take control of their life. But you can control certain aspects, and the aspects that you can control, try to, and just create a life that you want to live. When I say you're the protagonist and the author, I'm saying your life, like you spend 100% of your life with yourself. You are the main character in your life. And to some extent, some people more than others, you can write the life that you want. So maybe it wasn't a particularly well-worded tweet, and I did apologize because quite a few people didn't like the way that it was worded. But generally, I tried to make people smile. Right, there's different things like previously, like make the effort to connect with people. As I've said, it's very important to sort of connect with people and build friendships. What else? Different things like this, like the bad days are only temporary, realizing that there's a near point in the future where things will turn around can bring a sense of relief. Like if you're struggling now in the near future, things might turn around for you, and it's not always as tough as you think. So if you're interested in, as well as just general FPL chat, because it's only one tweet, you can, by the way, I said to someone, if you want to just bin this off, just mute. If you go onto your mutes, you can mute daily life advice with Raptor and you never have to see this tweet. But if you're interested in it alongside FPL chatter, then do drop me a follow over on Twitter. But yeah, it received quite a few negative comments, that one yesterday, unfortunately. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat whilst I was having that rant, so I missed all of those. I missed all of those bits and pieces that people have said in the chat. You can't really hear anything. You really can't hear the fan. I'll put it back on for 5 seconds. You really can't hear that, because on my OBS it says it's picking it up quite heavy. I'm gonna just stay hot. Even if you can't hear it a lot, I'd rather stay hot than to have you guys have a little bit of background noise in your ear. Yeah, people are saying Andy's stream was fantastic, so I'm just catching up on all of the chat. The most authentic streamer with Andy. Yeah, Andy is very authentic. I think the best thing about Andy, listen, his graphics are great. He's got 4 top 10K finishes. He's a really easy to listen to guy. But the best thing about Andy is when you're listening to Andy's FPL videos, you feel like you're in a pub, right? You feel like you just sat there chatting with a mate. And I think that's really nice. I think you've got different, like, for example, FPL Mate. such high quality videos and he's so entertaining. But it feels less like you're in a pub, right? It feels like more like you're watching a really incredible show. Like he puts on a show for you. With Andy, it's almost the opposite, right? And that's why some people prefer Andy and mate. I'm not going to give a preference. I don't really care. But it's very sort of authentic the way he delivers his videos. I guess I'm somewhere in the middle between those. It's astounding how many people project their own insecurities. What you said is true. The message means do what you can with the resources given, not that everyone should be a CEO. Yeah, I guess it was just one of those things where it maybe wasn't worded perfectly and then people jumped on it a little bit. So got another massive super chat from Frosty. Thank you so much. I've run out of words, to be honest. Again, if you don't know who Frosty is, he's basically one of the main moderators on Discord. He's been a member for almost a year now, I believe. And he sets up the weekly live streams, Discord calls with the viewers, the members, I should say. So thank you very much for another £20 super chat. Imagine just dropping 20. He's dropped £50 in the previous 2 streams as well. Imagine being that kind that you just dropped that. So thank you, Frosty. I appreciate that. Very much so. I appreciate all of the support. I'm just reading through. I know a lot of people are being really, really kind. Being very, very kind about the... Sorry, I'm just catching up. I've been very, very kind about the tweets. I appreciate that. Cool. People are saying the fan's not that bad. Maybe I'll blast it every 5 seconds or so. I'm going to blast it now because it's sweating hot. I live in a studio on the 3rd floor. And because I live on a main road, I have to shut my window because you can pick up... Because basically loads of cars go past. It's so loud. So, yeah. There we go. I just realised you're a Pisces. I'm actually not a Pisces. I'm an Aries, I think. March 29th. Oh, you can see my date of birth. I wondered how you knew that. Yeah, March 29th, 1997. So yeah, I'm not a... What's I saying? I'm not a Pisces. I'm an Aries. Fan poll. Yeah, there are a few people saying that they can hear it quite loud and a few people saying they don't want the fan. So do what makes you happy. I don't want to put my fan on. Yeah, maybe daily life advice. Put your fan on if it makes you happy. Can you give me a lobotomy? Do you actually mean a lobotomy? I mean, I'd rather not give you a lobotomy personally. I love the sound of fans. Very relaxing. I'll be honest. This might be controversial. I sometimes have the fan on in the winter because I like the sort of white noise in the background. So even when I'm not hot, sometimes I'll have my fan on and I'll just point it away from me. I really like background noise. But for me, the background noise has to be kind of a steady background noise. Like if it's people talking and sometimes talking loud or like the sound of traffic, like sometimes people revving their engine, I don't like that. But if it's like a low sort of steady hum, I do quite like background noise. I love that the general conversation now is just generally about the fan. Please don't change. We love your objective approach. Thank you very much. You're all very kind. I assume the 600 people that are here are sort of fans of the channel or supporters of the channel, and I can tell that because the chat's been very nice. Thank you. Frosty is ice cold. Frosty is ice cold, isn't he? I don't even know Frosty's name. I know it starts with an A. That's about it. So I just call him Frosty. Love you very much from Morocco. I love you very much too, Mohammed. Thank you very much for spreading the positive vibes. How many points you got? I've got 157 points. Let's have a look. We'll sort of... So if you're new to this channel, by the way, on these deadline streams, once the deadline goes, if you want to ask me FPL questions, we'll still talk about FPL, but it's basically anything goes. Ask me any questions about anything you want, and I'm happy to, as long as it's appropriate, I'm happy to give an answer for you. Oh, why'd I do that? Silly Raptor. Of course I can't see. Well, the game will update in 15 minutes. Basically, I'm on 157 points and I'm 69k. So I got 79 points in game week 1 and 78 points in game week 2. For the Premier League's 30th birthday, we have made 10 iconic films. These are really boring. I feel like these could be much better stats. Did you know FPL Raptor's only 25 years old? That would be an interesting fact. Did you know... What else could we have on there? I don't know. That's it. Frederic says, fan on or I leave. I love the sound of fans. Very relaxing. I love that people are now telling me to put on the fan. 29th of March 1997, 45 confirmed. Yeah. This is my date of birth, but I'm still 45. Absolutely. I need white noises to sleep. Oh, I like it. I like it. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. Do a poll of what star sign everyone is so that we can see what type of viewer you attract. I'm not sure that that's the best poll to put in this chat at the moment. I don't even know what all of them are, to be honest. How are there 12? That's a really stupid question. I genuinely don't know. Is there 12? How many? 10? 8? I've got no idea. But I think I'm an Aries. I put a cafe scene on in a YouTube tab. Background noise is good. Do you know how many people have told me that they listen to my YouTube videos to go to sleep? I don't know the exact amount, but it's a frightening amount of people put on my YouTube videos to go to sleep. Now, I'm going to choose to view that as I have a very soothing voice and people enjoy listening to me talk, rather than, Raptor, you're incredibly boring to listen to, and I put your videos on so I can fall asleep. I suppose as long as you watch the entire video, I'm not too fussed, to be honest. I'm not too fussed. If you watch the entire video, I'm fine. Do you know what Nana Raptor called me last night? Nana Raptor watches my stream videos in bed as well. She said it helps her relax, and she said she used to watch TV in bed, and now she watches my videos in bed. So there we go. Who else watches me in bed? That's not a weird way to... Not in a weird way. Anyone else watch me when they're going off to sleep or getting into bed? Do let me know. Raptor ASMR channel is coming soon. Shall I whisper into the mic? No, I'm not going to do that. Like tap the mic. Getting your fans turned on. Yeah, that's a whole different getting my fans turned on sort of vibe, isn't it? Big fan from Morocco. Wish you all the best in FPL and in your life. Thank you very much, my lad. That is incredibly kind of you. I've got a lot of... I tell you what, Moroccans, from my experience, Moroccans have been incredibly kind. How many different hats do you wear every day? Every day I only wear one. I only wear one a day. I have like 8 snap. This is my favorite. It just sits very comfortably. The other ones that I have will like ride up my head, and they sometimes fall off. This is a Levi's hat. But yeah, I've got about 8. I just sort of rotate them around. The issue that I've got with my green screen is anything that's light blue, green, or yellow, my green screen cuts out the clothing. So this blue's fine, but I've got a couple of like light pink hats. I've got a light blue one, and I've got like a greeny, like khaki green one, and the green screen just cuts it all out. So I have to only wear certain colors on streams, which is really annoying due to the green screen. When can we stalk our league rivals teams? When the game updates? It's normally about 11:30, 11:45. Do you prefer Stranger Things or Breaking Bad? Breaking Bad. So my burning question, at what point do you start playing more aggressively after a slow start? I think for me, captaining Haaland this week is risky, but got to take a few risks somewhere. Like game week 26, game week 27. I wouldn't start changing the way you play based on a slow start. You've got to be a maximum of about sort of 15, 20 points off of most people. I would not start playing differently based on that. Chicken or beef? Interestingly, I stopped eating meat 2.5 years ago. I'm not one of those... So I'm a pescatarian, so I eat fish. Apologies. I'm not one of those people, you know, like if you're cooking and they're like, oh no, the meat's touched my food. Now I'm not going to eat meat. Now I'm not going to eat my food. I happily cook meat. I'm not a big sort of anti-meat person, but I just decided a couple of years ago to stop eating meat. So neither chicken nor beef. But when I ate meat, definitely chicken for me. Very random question, Ross. Have you heard of my team, Dorking Wanderers, just got promoted to the National League? I haven't, but I will look out for them now that you've said that. I watch your video when I take a doo-doo. That must be a long doo-doo. I mean, FPL Focal's videos are perfect length for when you take a doo-doo, as you've pronounced it, or as you said it. FPL Focal, 6 or 7 minute video, perfect. You shouldn't be sitting on the toilet for half an hour. I was gonna say let's run a poll for how long you sit on the toilet, but that's not probably very appropriate for my live stream. Your videos are that long that the same one will be playing when folk are waking up 8 hours later. Yeah, true. I rewatch your YouTube videos to avoid feeling alone. That's really sweet. I love that. Yeah, I'm always there for you. To be fair, drop me a message. If you're feeling really alone, drop me a message on Twitter. Let's have a chat. I don't want anyone to ever feel alone. So if you ever feeling alone, drop me a Twitter DM and just say feeling a bit alone, and I'll try my best to respond to you. What did you say there? Just dozed off for a second. Frosty, that is outrageous. Am I slowly sending my viewers to sleep? Fair enough. Do you listen to music, lo-fi background noise when you work? Yes, I do. Here are my recommendations for you. It depends what work I'm doing. If I don't mind a bit of background word, if anyone knows the philosopher Alan Watts, there are really good Alan Watts chill step remixes on YouTube. If you've not heard it yet, it's going to sound very strange. But it's Alan Watts, basically some philosophy speeches that he does, background with like a bit of chill step. I like that. But if I'm trying to work focused, I listen to Ludovico Einaudi. Let me type in I can't remember how you spell his first name. It's something like that, the first name, but that's his second name. Ludovico Einaudi, he's a pianist, he's a classical composer. Absolutely beautiful music. But yeah, I listen to classical music, bit of piano in the background when I'm working. Nanoraptor is the GOAT of FPL. Yes, undebated. I'm watching you in bed. Very nice. Have a little snuggle up. Unfortunately, I can't be in bed. I could do a live stream in bed one day, I guess. When did you start FPL? My camera's gone. When did you start FPL content creation? I started my Twitter account. It says August 2018. I started my FPL Twitter account in June 2020. So I've been on Twitter 2 years, which is crazy. 45,000 followers in 2 years is ridiculous, right? So I started Twitter, so FPL Twitter 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago. And I started my YouTube channel on August the 1st, 2021. So Twitter 2 years, YouTube 1 year. How's the gym going? Looking tasty on the Vikings vid. Thank you very much. Gym's going well. So I've been going to the gym now. So I went to the gym when I was like 19, 20. I went to the gym for sort of like, did you hear my voice break there? My God. Clearly I'm not older than 19 with the way my voice just broke. I went to the gym like quite a lot, got to quite a good stage with my fitness when I was sort of 19, 20, but then I had to stop because I had issues with my wrists. So I get tendonitis in my wrist. So I had to stop because I was in too much pain. But I started up again 8 months ago. So I've been going to the gym 8 months. I basically went through because I had quite a high body fat percentage. So I went through a 6-month period of basically cutting. So I went for a 6-month hitting the gym, but at a calorie deficit. And two months ago, I started in a bulking stage. So I'm very happy with where I'm at, but I have just put on a little bit more body fat. So I'm kind of at, there you go. So I'm kind of at a stage now where I've lost sort of my abs and I'm a little bit fatter or a little bit heavier. So that's fine, but I'm trying to bulk up a little bit. I won't talk about gym for too long. I know most people aren't interested in the gym. I go to sleep with you every night. Love to hear that. I mean, I should comment. We don't go to sleep together every night, but you go to sleep with me on in the background every night. There we go. I'm going to have a little exercise, Ross, until the game starts. Superb stream, by the way. Yeah, go get some exercise, guys. Absolutely. I'm going to head to the gym after the Wolves-Spurs game. So after the Wolves-Spurs game, because I'm going to be playing fan slide, remember? I'll be heading to the gym, and I don't know what today is. I think it's back day, like a pool day. Ross, you should start an OnlyFans. Can you imagine? I think I'd get all of about 0 subscribers, 0 views. I don't even know what they're called over there. Subscribers, followers, viewers. I wouldn't get a lot of attention. Believe you me. Big fan from Kenya. Thank you very much. Big love to Kenya. Big love to Kenya. Do YouTube content creators impressions? I feel like I'd end up insulting people, to be honest. I know I'm quite behind in the chat, by the way. I'm just sort of scrolling up and answering some questions from before. Watching you on a bike right now. That sounds dangerous. This cap makes you look like an inverse R9 with his tiny patch of hair. It does, doesn't it? Oh my God, I went out in Ireland and I had a bit of a tan line there because I'd kept obviously the hat on all day and I had this like bit of a semicircle tan line. So I do need to be careful, to be honest. Oh God, I've lost where I was. What is your favorite TV show? Prison Break or Suits, probably, would be my favorite too. What is the best fish? Probably salmon, but I like salmon, cod, tuna, prawns, anything, to be honest. Favorite pudding? By pudding, do you mean dessert? I mean, down south, I wouldn't call it a pudding. If by dessert you mean, if by pudding you mean dessert, good question. That's a really good question. I'd go for some sort of like rich chocolate cake. Check out the book Person of Interest. I will do for sure. Have you heard about Levski Sofia? Watch a video of their fans. You would be entertained. Okay, I haven't heard of that person, so I can do that. Let's have a poll on doo-doos. Yeah, I'm not running that poll. Everyone wants me to run the poll. Daddy, I'm feeling alone. No need to feel alone. I was going to say Daddy Raptors here, but I still don't feel comfortable saying that. Raptors here. No need to feel alone. Anytime you feel alone, drop me a message or drop someone a message. There's more people out there than you realize that would be happy to just keep you company and chat to you. There are also really good phone lines out there. There are some like mental health related ones, but there are some genuinely like sort of helplines, phone lines where you can call in and someone just keeps you company if you're feeling a bit down. So there's always someone to reach out to. Never feel alone, guys. Never feel alone. Best film trilogy is by far and away the Dark Knight trilogy. Christopher Nolan is a GOAT. What is your profession? My profession is lecturer / PhD student / author / company director / PhD student / author, YouTuber, PhD student, lecturer, company director. I don't know. 5? I've got 5 professions. There you go. I'm sure there's something else. When do we get to meet Nanoraptor? I'll try and get a video with Nanoraptor next time I'm down south at home. Okay, I just have to say I couldn't go. I'm enjoying the chat too much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for staying. These are my favorite parts of the stream when we just kick back and chat. Yes, seems some Arnaldi love in the chat. I was distracted by a visitor just before deadline and ended up playing Neto. Will I regret it? No, I think Neto's fine to start. I don't think he's the best person to start this week, but I think he is fine to start. Like I said, sorry, I know I'm quite far. I'm quite far back on the chat. I'm about sort of 3 or 4 minutes back on the chat. How do you manage YouTube PhD lecturing? My ADHD can't multitask. So, a fun fact for you guys. I have mild ADHD. Very mild. It's tough, right? Just having a good schedule and doing things that you care about is probably what I would advise. So I care about my YouTube so, like, you wouldn't believe how much pride I take in my YouTube channel and how much I care about it. So that's easy for me, and my PhD is the same, and I love lecturing. Like, I truly believe, you know, when people say they found their calling in life, I found about 2 years ago, I found that I think my calling in life is to teach people. That could be FPL, right? I guess I'm teaching FPL. It could be sports psychology. It could be mental health. Hopefully you get that vibe from me, but I believe my calling in life is to teach people. So for me, it's relatively easy to multitask because I care about everything so much. I think the issue we have with multitask, this is my opinion on sort of productivity and multitasking. I think people struggle with multitasking and productivity when they don't care about it. So for example, like in some weeks, maybe I've got to do like a grocery shop and I've got to clean the house and I've got to do X, Y, Z, and I've got to do something with my PhD that I don't really want to do. That's when I start to struggle. But when you really care about stuff, it's easy to fit it in, I think. I mean, I say easy. I probably do 80 to 90 hours a week of work. Are you confident with a... Oh, I lost where I was. Are you confident with a Reece James clean sheet? No, not particularly, but I'm hoping a clean sheet or an attacking return. You're at a healthy weight. Yeah, I'm at a healthy weight, but I'd like to put on a bit more muscle mass and bulk. Just for my personal confidence, not necessarily to impress anyone. It's just for myself. You know, you feel better when you're in t-shirts. You fill out a t-shirt a little bit more, stuff like that. What's your favourite team? I support Manchester United. Raptor is better than every other FPL content creator. I don't believe that for a second. There are lots of better content creators out there, but I try my best. Perisic starts, confirmed by Team News and Ticks. Fantastic for Perisic owners, not for me. Let's get that up then. Yeah, so it was the team that was going around. Perisic starts, Kulusevski starts, you're all fine. But we'll get the proper team news up soon. But yeah, Perisic starts. Ross, any book recommendations? Last season, Atomic Habits was a good one. Yes, book recommendations. Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. Happy Sexy Millionaire by Stephen... Why have I forgot his second name? Stephen something. It'll come back to me. The Diary of the CEO. I forgot his second name. Happy Sexy Millionaire, Why We Sleep. And do you know what I'm currently reading? I'm currently reading a fiction book. I'm reading the Mistborn trilogy. I don't know if anyone's read it. I'm on this halfway through the second book of the Mistborn trilogy. That's an absolutely cracking sort of, if you want a fiction book. But yeah, the two probably further ones that I would recommend from a non-fiction perspective is Why We Sleep and Happy Sexy Millionaire. What else have I read? I've actually got my list up here. Let me get my list. I wonder if it will let me copy paste the list in. Oh god, it's way too long. Let me cut it there then. Oh god, it's not going to work. I'm just going to read them out. If you want to clip this bit or go back and watch it, the books I would recommend: Atomic Habits, Millionaire Fast Lane, Happy Sexy Millionaire, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a... Die with Zero was a really good book. Die with Zero I'd highly recommend. The Psychology of Money. 4,000 Weeks, actually, I'll put that up there. 4,000 Weeks is an excellent book. It basically explains that most people only have 4,000 weeks to live, and that you basically need to find a way to live a life worth living, and realize that you are going to die relatively soon. And it's quite a morbid thought when you first approach the book, but by the end of it, you realize I haven't got a massive amount of time on this earth. Even if I live to sort of 75, 80, I'm only going to get 4,000 weeks on this earth. So make the most of it, sort of thing. Anything you want, A Brief History of Time. I've read far too many books. Drop me a DM if you want book recommendations for anything. But yeah, I guess Happy Sexy Millionaire, Why We Sleep, and 4,000 Weeks would be my top three. Right, I'm going to go back to just... I'm so far behind on this. How long are you streaming for? I'm probably going to stream till 12. As soon as the teams are out, I'm going to jump onto Fanslide and we're going to play a bit of Fanslide and sort my team out. But I'm still going to chat general stuff. So if you want to stick with me, I'll probably be going till about 12. Fingers crossed. Profession, you forgot microphone checker. I'd love that. Microphone checker. I'm going to add that to the list. When you visit Dubai, let's meet up. Yeah, I'm going to get out to Dubai at some point. I'd quite like to sort of spend a few months in Dubai, to be honest. So absolutely. I feel my calling in life is to eat. Big fan of your work, by the way. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Merlin. Mate, you are a natural at teaching. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's what I like to hear. Cool. Lineups are announced. Cool. I've just got the notification from Fanslides. We're going to try and jump over there in a second, but I'm going to answer a few more questions. I'm 21. Just found out the other day I have a kind of autism. I tell you what, number one, that's absolutely no issue at all. Number two, it's great that you've been diagnosed. I think the major issue with autism is when people aren't diagnosed and people expect certain things from them and they're potentially like shoehorned into doing certain things. So it's great if you can find out early in that, but as soon as you find out, you can start to make change and people start to be a little bit more understanding of certain things that you do and don't do. So absolutely no issue at all there. You're definitely not alone. You're definitely not the only one with autism, and I think that helps to know that you're not alone in these sort of things. Would you ever be a school teacher? I think I prefer teaching to adults, which is why I lecture at university at the moment. So I lecture 18 and 19-year-olds. Oh, just knocked my hat. So I prefer that slightly, to be honest. Sorry, let me get the Spurs line up whilst we're talking. Yeah, I prefer teaching adults personally. But I guess there's the option of being a school teacher. There's the Spurs lineup, by the way. It's the one that we knew anyway, but still interesting. You were talking about Andy and Dan's style. You are the professor of FPL. I like that. I tell you what, if I ever don't want to be FPL Raptor for some reason, I will change myself to FPL Professor. I think that suits quite well. Work on the intensity in the gym. Focus on the intensity, not the number. Yeah, I agree with that. I know you're a personal trainer, aren't you? So yeah, I agree with that. It's good. Read American Psycho. It will change your life. I've seen the film. American Psycho is a fantastic film, but yeah, maybe I'll have to read the book as well. Bartlett, that's the one. Stephen Bartlett. You can tell how far behind I am on the chat. Stephen Bartlett, Happy Sexy Millionaire. His podcast is great as well. What is the fiction series about? It's how can I say it without ruining it? It's about it. I wouldn't do a good job of explaining it. Let me read the synopsis and see how that does. Because the thing is, it would put me off. It's a series of epic fantasy novels. Let's see if I can get a good... It's about a secret group of allomancers. They're people that have like a bit of magic behind them. They attempt to throw over like a dystopian empire. So it's a kind of dystopian vibe. If you like dystopian films like sort of Hunger Games and Divergent, those sort of dystopian element films, it's a bit like that. The magic element is very well done though. It doesn't feel overly done. They're very long books, but there's 3 of them. I'm currently on the second one and I've really enjoyed them. It's by Brandon Sanderson. He's a brilliant author. Wolves lineup looks strong. Spurs could struggle. Yeah, let's have a look at the Wolves lineup. What about being a school counsellor, Ross? The issue I've got is I'm overqualified to work in a school. That's not to say that working in a school isn't a fantastic job, but I'm going to have a PhD and a master's. You actually only need a bachelor's degree to work as a school counsellor and as a school teacher. So I'm slightly overqualified. So realistically, I should probably work in a university as a counsellor or in a university as a teacher, like a lecturer. I'll be honest, I don't have kids as well, so I don't even know how well I would do at sort of communicating to kids. I feel like I have a decent ability to communicate to adults, but with kids, it's a different ball game, isn't it? It's slightly difficult. Do you schedule time to read? Yes, I do. I read every night in bed for at least an hour. So every night I'll get in bed and I'll read for about an hour. And I try to, when I commute to work, which is a bus journey, I have 20 minutes on the bus, I'll listen to a book via Audible. So 20 minutes back and forth. Sometimes during the day, I'll listen to a bit of Audible as well. And then when I get into bed, I don't use Audible. I actually read off my Kindle. So I probably read about an hour and a half a day. I'd like to read more, but I'm so busy that an hour and a half is probably a bit too much. Love some good fantasy books. Right, guys. So I'm going to be... I didn't even look at the Wolves lineup, did I? I'm going to be playing Fanslide for the next 20 minutes. Please stick with me, though, because I promise it is a good game. It's free to play. Also, whilst I'm playing it, I'll still answer your questions. So please don't kick off the stream. We're still going to be laid back, chilled. I'm going to answer all of your questions as well, but we are going to jump over and play a bit of Fanslide, hopefully, if I can get it to work. Sarr, Johnny, Collins, Kilman, Aitnuri, Neves. Oh, Nunes comes in. Moutinho, Guedes comes in. Podence and Neto. Wow, that is a strong team. My word. Wow. I'll tell you what, yeah, we could see a little bit of struggle for Spurs. That is a very strong team. Jimenez is on the bench as well. Kindle in bed, hopefully with a blue light filter. Yeah, I've got the Kindle Paperweight or whatever it is, and it's got a very dim screen, so it's not too bad for your eyes. I've got a really good question there. 2 seconds. Right, let's bring this up. Let's bring this up. I don't know how this is going to go, guys. I've never done it before, I'll be completely honest. Here we go. You are now on Raptor's phone. So this is I'm on my phone live, guys. Like I said, if you're not interested in this, just ignore the screen and I'm just going to carry on talking, answering questions. But it helps to support the channel and it is completely free to do. So when you download Fanslide, right, it's a free-to-play game. It's in-play fantasy football, so it's completely free. You can enter pay tournaments if you want to. Don't feel like you need to, though. You don't have to bet. I don't bet. I'm going to do the free. All of the ones that I'm going to ask you guys to join is going to be completely free. So download Fanslide for free, all right? Link in the description. When you join using the link in the description, it will enter you into my league. So if you click on the bottom on groups, and then if you go on to, where is it? Groups, my groups, members, right? This is it here. So if you join via that, you can go in, join there, and basically there'll be a league each week for each of the games that we play. So this time, we are going to be playing the Tottenham versus Wolves game. So I'm going to give you guys, if you want to, just a couple of minutes to just get that downloaded whilst I answer some more questions. Like I said, if you're not interested in this, I'll keep on answering questions, but it really helps to support the channel and it's completely free. So even if you just want to support the channel, give it a go. Like I said, use the link in the description, though, because that's a track link. So don't type it into the App Store. Use the link in the description. It would help me. And download that, and then you can join. How does it work again, though? I'm going to explain all of that. So once you've got it downloaded, it's in-play fantasy football. It's free, but you can earn some prizes as well. So get the game downloaded, and then I'll explain how it works and how you play it. Right, let me have a look. Always wondered, does reading books improve your vocabulary? Do you learn new words? Absolutely 5,000,000%. My vocabulary is quite advanced, but I've obviously gone to uni and I've got a bachelor's, master's, and I'm doing a PhD and I'm a lecturer. So like my vocabulary is probably slightly more advanced anyway, just due to my background. But reading books is massive because what you can do on a Kindle, and this is what I love about a Kindle, is if you click on a word and like hold it down, you can highlight the word, and assuming you've got an internet connection, it takes you straight to Wikipedia for a definition of that word. So every time I see a word in any book that I don't understand, which is quite rare, it's probably like once every like 2 or 3 pages, I'll highlight it, get the definition of the word, and then I know a new word. So yeah, it's absolutely class to do that. It's definitely worthwhile doing. Where is the link? Is it not in the description? Let me check. It should be the first link in the description. Yeah, it's join my group, FPL Raptor on fan slide, and then there's the link. So it's in the description. Is it not working? Try that out. Hopefully that should work. If it doesn't work, let me know and I'll try and work something out. Fanslide isn't available in your country. Oh, that sucks. I'm really sorry. Yeah, it's not available in all countries just because of certain regulations. They can't have it in every country. But I know they're working on that. So fingers crossed it's available in most of your countries or those that want to play the game. Oh, my phone's... my phone locked. There you go. River God is the best book ever. Is that fiction or non-fiction? River God. I genuinely haven't heard of that, potentially. Harvey Bennett Thrillers is a cracking book series based on historic-ish conspiracies by Nick Thacker. Okay, I'll have a look into that then, definitely. What program do you use to get your phone on your PC? I literally just plugged it in. There are loads of apps that you can get to do it, but yeah, I've literally just plugged it in. So yeah, plugged it in via the cable, and then on OBS you open up the phone. You open up a video source, and you can get it onto OBS. Hey, could you show your team? Of course I can. Oh no, I can't until the game. When the game updates, I can show my team. Right, guys, do download Fanslide. Like I said, link in the description. I'm going to show you how to play in 2 seconds, but I want to show you how to play once you guys are onto the app and once you've joined my group. So join my group, open the app. Do you have OnlyFans? No, I don't have OnlyFans. I don't think that would be particularly interesting. When will the game update? Apparently the game has just updated, so we'll check in 2 seconds then. Whilst you're downloading Fanslide, let me go. What am I doing? That. And then that. Okay, so this is... Okay, for some reason it's still on pick team, but that's my team for this week. The game's updating now, so we should in 2 seconds see some other stuff. Can't join as you're not from the UK. Oh, that sucks. I'm really sorry for those of you that aren't from the UK that can't join. I didn't realise it was only UK. I know that UK is obviously the main target audience, of course it is, but it's due to different regulations in different countries. Technically, because you can enter paid-for tournaments, it's technically betting. But like I said, the ones I'm recommending will be free. But yeah. Raptor, do you play chess? I do play chess, but not very well. I've never really got into it, but I understand the concept and I'm decent enough. I think my elo was like 800 on chess.com when I got into it quite a lot, so I was never very good, to be honest. But yeah, I can play chess. Last book I read was 2014 and never liked reading, but in 2022 started reading in Marvel Comics, and it's most reading I've ever done because I'm actually into it. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you read, even if it's like FPL articles. Like reading is just good for you. It just stimulates the mind, so I definitely recommend reading for sure. Right, let me drag this over then. Right, so I'm going to build my team. Right, so like I said, once you've got the app, let me go back to the home page. Once you've got the app and you've verified and done what you need to do, you can log into your page. You can obviously, like I said, you can add money if you want to. You can change your picture, whatever. But if you click on the Tottenham versus Wolves game, it will bring it up like this. And essentially what this is in-play fantasy football. So when the game's going on, you can get points from each of your different players, and you drag them in to either 1 times point, 2 times point, or 3 times point. So you start the game with any 3 players you want, and you can drag them in and out throughout the game. The thing to note, though, is you only get 3 free drags in and out, or slides, every single half, right? So if you drag them in and out loads of times, you end up costing yourself points like an FPL. So you get almost like 3 free transfers in each half. So what you can get points for, if we just go to the how to play section, if we go to Academy, point scoring, you can see you get points for a goal, penalty save, assist, own goal, interception, penalty won, last player tackle, goalkeeper save, shots on target, free kick. Look at all these things you can get points for. But what is the interesting one to note for me is the clean sheet. You get 5 points for 20 minutes of a clean sheet. You can see there in the middle. That one there. 55 points for 20 minutes of a clean sheet. So what I personally do is I will start the game with 3 defenders and hope that it's 0-0 after 20 minutes. Because if it's 0-0 after 20 minutes, or at least the team that you've got 3 defenders from, you can get up to sort of 25, 30 points from that. So you can have a look at the point scoring system, but essentially you can start the game. Let's go back to Tottenham Wolves. So I'm going to start with probably Perisic is a midfielder, which is slightly frustrating in this one. But I'm going to start with Ben Davies treble points, right? Because he's going to get, if he gets a clean sheet in the first 20, that's going to get me a minimum of 15 points. I'm probably going to go Eric Dyer in double points. And then it's just, do I think Tottenham will score in the first 20 minutes? I think it could be a slightly cagey game. Just in case they do, though, I might just back like triple Spurs defence and just hope that Spurs don't concede in the first 20 minutes. So basically, you build your team like that. And then throughout the game, as I said, once you get the different points on different things, you can then switch them in and out throughout the game. So that's it. That's my team confirmed. Then basically, like I said, you can just switch in and out. So if I just switch to this instead, to show you how it goes on here. This is a recording that I did yesterday. Hopefully it'll give you a bit of better idea about sliding players in and out. But essentially, yeah, you slide them in and out throughout the game. So it's in-play fantasy football. It's the only, as far as I know, in-play fantasy game where if your team doesn't do well throughout the game, you can make changes. And it rewards people that understand football and are good at understanding like the way the game works. Like I said, if Kane's getting in some really good positions, if you slide Kane in... My camera's just died. Interesting. If you slide players in before they... Sorry, guys, my camera's just died. Don't know why that is. If you slide players in and out before they have really sort of decent, a decent return, then it can be really fruitful. So that's the way to do it. Like I said, you can see the little rotation here. And the app's really sort of user-friendly. So I won't keep going on about it, but link is in the description. Like I said, it does really, really help to support me, but there's no obligation to do so. So feel free to click the link in the description. If you do, make sure you're in my league. Make sure you play the game today. You've got 45 minutes, right? If I switch back, you've got 45 minutes to make your team and then play throughout the game. So whilst the game's on, just keep your app open and just have a go. Like the first time you play, you might not be fantastic at it, but it is really fun to play and it keeps you like sort of engrossed in it and you're focused on the fixtures. So as you can see here, this is from yesterday's game. This is me sort of switching the players out at half time. And yeah, it's actually the battery on my cameras that's died, guys. So I think, to be honest, if I just switch back here, let me get rid of the camera. That will probably be my face, unfortunately, for the rest of it. I wanted to just quickly check my team for next week. Why is pick team? There we go. Right. Just very quickly before we leave, guys, final thing. I just want to have a quick look at my team for game week 4. Look at how it is set up. So Trippier comes in. Nico Williams comes out. There you go. That's it. That's the team. Genuinely don't think I'll make another change, to be honest. Look, that is a nicely set up team. Is it Ramsdale, Cancelo, Trent James, Trippier, Diaz, Salah, Martinelli, Gross, Haaland, Jesus. I've got 10 home fixtures. Kieran Trippier is the only away fixture. That's a sexy looking team, isn't it? That's a very, very nice looking team. What do we think about that team, guys? I think it's a lovely team. I think it's a lovely, lovely team for this week. Then the thing is, I've got 2 free transfers and 0.4 million in the bank, so I don't even have anything massively to do with this team, but I think I'm very well set up, to be honest. I think I'm very well set up. Right. I think then, guys, sorry my camera's died at the second. I like to look at you guys as I say goodbye, but my camera battery's gone and it's not charging for some reason. So I think I'm going to call it there. I just wanted to say a massive thank you. This has been a ridiculous, like, 3-hour live stream. It's been a monster one. We hit 1,000 likes. We were at 2,500 odd concurrent viewers, which is absolutely wild. Like, genuinely, beyond my wildest dreams. I didn't think we'd hit that for the next, like, 5 years. So that is absolutely huge. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like I said, I really appreciate all of the support and the love and the positivity as well. Final thing just to say, like I said, it does really support the channel if you check out Fanslide, first link in the description. You've got about 40 minutes to create your team. Outside of that, best of luck for game week 3. There'll be at least 4 pieces of content next week once again. So if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, drop a like on the way out, and just thank you very much for being here, guys. Massively appreciate it. Until next time, cheers. Bye-bye.